Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Lady Freedom here coming at you with another raw narrative. Here's a brief disclaimer for tonight's show. Let's watch.
That's ignorant! Allegedly, that's ignorant! Ignorant.
Judgment, I'll slip.
Boy, you read my thoughts. You've got the shinning.
You mean shining?
Shh, you wanna get sued?
Judgment, I'll slip.
You just use that shin of yours to call me and I'll come a-running. But don't be reading my mind between 4 and 5. That's Willie's time.
Hey, yo, boss. I love it when he does that. But y'all don't say that.
Let's watch.
Don't get me back to good bullshit.
Oh my god, you guys, it's breaking news right now. SF just posted this on Twitter. Our expert analysis confirms the truth. Wow. They really can't get their grammar straight, can they? We could probably tell who has put this together, and I'm guessing it's Cluminasty and Clitoris. So let's take a look. It looks like they do confirm that this is in fact one of the feet. I get that they're trying to laugh off their pain after licking their wounds because they know that there's something more to this photo. I know this because he admits where the photo actually came from, that it was taken from the flashlight video. So laugh it up all you want, you guys. It's all good because we all know what's coming. Clank, clank. You're going to the clinker, Chris and Katie, to the clinker. Let's look at their expert analysis, shall we? Oh, here it comes in brighter, except for the toes don't line up. The second toe is right over Chris's face where it belongs. I hope no feet were harmed in the making of this trash. See ya, Nancy Grace.
No way, Kimosabe. This is my house now.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Lady Freedom here coming at you with another raw narrative. Good to see everyone today. Star, Pink Butterfly, Lori, good to see you. Minnie, how you doing, Minnie? We got Lulu Gumshoe. I hope I said that right. Maui-san. MCE, nice to see you. Nice to see you guys. Forget me not. I won't. Polly's Cookies. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. Let's see. Hey Mandy, nice to see you, Mandy Moo. Welcome in everyone. It's so good to see everyone tonight. So I was trying to find the Nancy Grace interview, but I couldn't find it. So instead, hey Lisa and Detroit Rock City. What's up, Detroit Rock City? So I tried to find the video, but I couldn't find it. So I don't know if they're waiting till next week to post it. I'm more of a visual kind of a person, so I want to have the visual. I don't want us to have to listen to the audio. I'd rather just have like the whole shebang for us to watch. So, but I did listen to a little bit. Hey, TJ, good to see you. I did listen to a little bit of it, but instead I uh, chopped up Pincho Paxton's video. I'm sure you all had a chance to see it already, so it'll just be something that we can go over and discuss. But okay, TJ says it's going to be posted next week. Great. Wonderful, wonderful. Lisa, awesome. Yeah, sorry, next week. I know. I really like to see the like I have listened to Nancy's podcast, don't get me wrong. I mean, she does a great job, so but it's just one of those things where I'd rather watch it like and then also they're supposed to be talking about images and also they were talking about the landfill search. Really good information. Mandy says, I'm wondering why Chris isn't out here slamming us all about the picture. Must be a real and scary at this point. I'm wondering I'm wondering if it's because they have a lawyer, which is possible. Hey, Robini, good to see you. So I don't know, but yeah, it's just all weird. Like I just have a weird feeling about all of it. And thank you for using Sebastian's emoji. Um, And Pink Butterfly says, I thought Picho was going to show more like cleaned up, even more images. I thought it was pretty cool. I guess I was expecting something different as well. Sorry, I don't know if this is like shaking. Okay, there we go. I think it was more or less a lot like the one that the mob crew showed. It is mirroring that path and that point of view for the camera. So it was interesting. I just like the visual aspect of it a lot. I don't know about the drain theory. You guys can let me know what you think. It's an interesting theory. Uh, there's I mean, that's one thing we have to do is discuss theories in this case because there's not a whole lot out there and it's just been going on for so long that at this point there's just going back to square one and then working our way up or kind of talking about things as they come out. So one shot says Nancy Grace pulled the audio and won't show the video as it was 90% misinformation. Nancy was trolled. Oh, Lord almighty. We're just going to put you in a timeout so you can simmer down now, and we'll get you a crayon and a juice box. If you want to come back and be nice, then we will have you back unless one of my mods decided to just, chop you up. Barb says, hello, Lady Freedom. Good to see you, Barbaluba. Barbula. Sorry. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. If I mispronounce your guys' names, I don't mean any disrespect by it. Sometimes I can't read. Manny Anna, I was less than convinced. I mean, I don't know what to think of it. I do like the visual. Like I said, I'm very visual. So when somebody shows me something visual that I can kind of follow along with, I'm interested in looking at it. So let's look at the first piece. Okay, so to my knowledge and understanding, and I might not get this 100% right, guys, so just bear with me on it. But it looks like he has taken this original footage. He has taken the neighborhood layout and he has done overlays on it with technology and enhanced some of this video to where we can see more clearly. I don't know exactly the process that he uses, but it is interesting to me. Just a brief disclaimer so nobody gets too out of sorts about us speculating. This is purely speculation. All the opinions expressed on Lady Freedom's Raw Narratives are mine and mine alone. I am Lady Freedom. Everything you all, hey Margaret, everything that you all say in the chat is based on the things that you want to say. It's freedom of speech. I don't mind it as long as we're not going to be rude or hateful to each other. And then my mods are pretty well versed in what I'm kind of looking for. We are going to be having a mod meeting, just to throw that out there, because I need to get a little bit more reins on things. I work really hard at doing research a lot of the time, so there's things that I miss, and I apologize for that if I'm missing things. But we'll just kind of get it a little bit more organized, and we will do that behind the snes. But in the meantime, I'd like to discuss this new release video. We were supposed to look over Nancy tonight, but I just didn't want to do the audio part. I think it's much more interesting if we have something to look at. So let's go ahead and start with this here.
What the? Wow. As you can see, I've updated the map. I've added new houses down here. I've improved some of the old houses. Now this house on the corner of the road, okay. When I first built this building, that bush was in the way of the window when I walked up Google Earth, and I didn't see that window there. So it does change the angles a bit having that window there, because now we've got a light we can add to the scene. And this is the first light actually that's on the right of the video that you watched, the flashlight video. This is the first light, the stationary light that's on the right hand side. So we're going to go through the positions of all the different lights and what it means to add this particular window. It changes your angle, because last time when I made the first video I said we was looking at this door and this garage door and this car over here. We are overall looking in the same direction, but that light does shift us a bit to the left. To include that light, we're going to move slightly to the left, and we're going to see some new buildings that haven't been talked about before. So when you watch the flashlight video, you have the white stationary big blob on the screen, and I was saying it was this garage door and this light here. But now we need to look in a new direction. We're going up the road. So we'll start off here at the bottom of the road, Stafford Court Road. So as you can see, that's the window I missed over there. And you can see why I missed it. Look, you can barely see it behind that bush. So that's the window I've just added in. That's where the light is coming from. Now if we just go up a bit, right, we're looking in this direction. Trees everywhere. So I've changed my scene to winter now. I've taken all the leaves off these trees to see what you can see. As you'll see on my map later, it's a lot better, it's a lot clearer now. We've decided that these two houses are out of it because they're above that boat, so you can't cut that boat in half and see them houses. So if we're looking this way without trees, we do have a few more options actually. I've walked this path before and I thought, is there anything else we can see? And there's this. This is the white blob that you can see on the screen there. Now I've walked this way before and I thought it's definitely not that. You can't see anything because if you look back you can't see that way at all. So you think to yourself, well, can you see the camera? Because if you can't see the camera can't see you. And it does look like you can't actually see that building at all. So a lot of people have just missed it out and said you can't see it. But I had given up on looking at it. But a guy, Mikey, he contacted me and he said he thinks it's that building with the pillars, he said. So I thought, well, I've looked at that and I thought it might be. But once he said it, I thought, well, I'm going to have to build it and put it on my map. So I built it and I put it on my map. So here it is, the house with the pillars. Now, if we look back at the camera in the winter, there you go, you can see it. The camera can see us, we can see the camera. Here we are then looking back up the road from the security camera. I've opened it up at the top so you can see a bit more. So here's the light on the right. It looks like they've either got the TV on or there's some kind of kitchen appliance, if it's the kitchen. Some kind of light shining up in the corner there. You've got this white blob, which is the house with the pillars. Okay, it's just below the boat line, so that's fine. Everything below the boat or in the distance is all right. These two are cut off. The red house and the white house at the top of the boat, they're cut off at the top. I can light the scene up and make it into day. You can see more. And you can see where we're looking. So we can still see Sebastian's house. We can see these buildings at the back here next to his house that I've added in. They're going to play a part, because you remember how the boat cuts off these buildings up here? Well, these houses over here, they block off the road. So if you thought it was a light on the road, a car or a vehicle, it's completely blocked off by these houses here. So whatever the light is in front of those, well, to us, they're at the back, but it's going to be this side of the houses coming down here. So we're back on Google Maps again. I can show you around a bit more because I've built a bit more of the map. I'll show you on Google. So we're just going past Sebastian's. Can't show it you for long. Okay. But do note these fences here. I'll show them in more detail in a minute.
Hello, Forever Nikki's mom. Good to see you. Good to see you guys. Holly, yes, thank you so much for saying that. That's so sweet of you. And then I wanted to say prayers for Ann's sister. And I'm sorry that your sister is not feeling well, and I hope she feels better soon. Rob Beanie says, I think what it looks like someone punching something fast or something under the light on the left, whatever the light is coming from. So it is coming from the home. What's going on allegedly? That's a good question. I don't know really what to think. I think that he worked really hard on the camera angles and trying to recreate these images, you know, putting the houses exactly where they're supposed to be, making sure the right number of windows is there. He seems like he's doing a really, you know, meticulous job at figuring this out. So, let me see what you guys were saying during. Thank you for the green hearts, Castle. Good to see you. Good to see you. That's sweet of you, Pink Butterfly. Oh, Reach for the Sky, your membership ended, but was supposed to restart up, but has not. It was gifted. Okay. Weird. I know that my super chats were turned off, and I went in there and enabled them again. I don't know what's going on with that, but I will figure it out. I don't know why YouTube doesn't let you send a membership to a specific person. It's kind of impersonal and weird. Hey, Onward and Upward. And Ginger says, sorry, but he is mistaken about the lights. You know, that is very possible. I haven't had a chance to really like analyze this or anything like that or go over it a bunch of times. But you know, it's a recreation, reenactment, digital reenactment, I guess, is the best word. Mandy Moo says, I love Pincho. He is the best. And does anyone else hear a bit of Mrs. Doubtfire? I do. You should know Doubtfire. Yeah, I do. Let's see. Okay. You know, that's a great question. So Robini says, now I want to know who lives in that White House, and is the LE that they didn't search his home? Did LE search their home? I think is what she's trying to say. Maybe, possibly. Correct me if I'm wrong. Hey, Mallycat. Debbie says, what? Good to see you. It's going to be really hard to recreate this, guys. Even if they go and try and do it again. I know the last time that there was a recreation on this video. Star, thank you so much. Hey, Susan. Thank you so much for gifting a membership. If you guys get a membership from Star, make sure that you say thank you to her for that. Hey, figment of your imagination. Sorry, I always say my imagination. Figment says Poppy Love seriously wondering about all that too, but the dogs would have gotten the scent seems. That's the weirdest thing too. One of the weirdest things I should say is that they didn't get a scent. They're claiming they didn't. They said it multiple times that they didn't. So I mean, Ellie can lie to us, but hey, Poppy Love. I'm sorry, I should have read this one first. Is Picho saying Sebastian fell into the drain or was put into the drain? Confused and a little disappointed after watching for Picho's release tonight. Yeah, so from my understanding, and I'm going to listen to it really closely again when I replay it for you guys, it is my understanding that he's saying that Sebastian walked out of the house and fell into the drain, from what I heard. I do not agree with that, if that is what the theory is. I think the video itself, the work that was put into it, the effort was good. I don't think that it's going to get anybody hurt. I think people need to kind of simmer down when it comes to that. Look, we all have the right to speculate. We all can say whatever we want, right? And it's up to the creator, whoever's channel it is, to say, okay, yes, you can say that. No, you cannot. And that sort of thing. Mallycat, thank you for being a member for a month. She says, I'm so glad I found you. Oh, keep up the good work. Well, I'm glad I found you too, Mallycat. You're so awesome. So yeah, we just got to keep in mind, guys, even though we don't agree with each other on certain things, it's not a reason to hate each other or start a big argument over it. It's just something that we're going to differ in opinions. We can agree to disagree. The only thing that I ask is that don't be rude to each other about it, but you can say, I respectfully disagree. Lori did a great job just then of saying, hey, I don't agree with this. You know, I mean, that's all you have to say. And let us know why you don't agree, because it's important. I want to know why you don't agree. I want to know your thoughts on it. I really do, because maybe I'm thinking of something in a certain way from my perspective, and you could tell me, well, I don't agree because of this. And I might say, oh, okay, well, I didn't consider that before. That's a constructive conversation. I think that it may be because I'm new to YouTube, but it's something that is absolutely mind-boggling to me that there's so much hatred and craziness over someone speculating over a picture. In the last couple of days, people have completely acted a fool, and I don't understand it. It's like, if you don't agree with me, just move on and find something else. Say, I don't agree with that. And I mean, I don't know. I shouldn't be up here preaching to people. You guys are old enough to understand what I'm saying. GF Twin says Nancy gave you a shout out today. She did. I didn't even get a chance to hear it, guys. I really didn't. I've been just working really hard on getting a lot of this research done. So I didn't get a chance to hear much of anything today, rather than just the things that I was working on. And then I had a couple conversations. So I'm just kind of trying to, but I also thought that it was going to be out today. So I was curious. So thank you. I'm glad to hear that. That's cool, GM Twins. I'm really grateful for that. And Star says I can do one more fingers crossed reach for the sky. Oh, Star, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, Star is awesome. Forever Nikki's mom. That's sweet. Joseph Rapp, good to see you, hon. Clue Taurus. I heard somebody say something about a coitus today, though. That was kind of weird. I was like, I don't understand how people that have the same anatomy as me that wouldn't understand like what that is. And I'm just gonna do one of those. And then everybody can figure it out, hopefully. Don't come for me. Dreaming, hello, Dreaming, my friend. I will be listening. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. Anne says, I will find out tomorrow about what's going wrong with your sister. Well, let us know, Anne, because I'll be on tomorrow. I usually try to take Sundays off. Pink Butterfly says, if carried out, wouldn't be a scent. That is very true. Because for there to be a scent for the dogs, somebody would have to have walked, in scent, their clothes, like, or shoes, excuse me, and that's how they would catch a scent. Or if they walked barefoot, that's even a better one, a better scent indicator for the dogs. But to my knowledge, and that's what law enforcement has told us, that there was never a scent. And they did say something about a scent being around the house. I do remember that. But then also, we have to understand that sometimes the dogs aren't as accurate. They're only as good as their trainers. And so if the dogs aren't picking up scent, it might be because they weren't trained very well. And I'm not knocking anybody. Yeah, I never trained a dog, so I have no idea. But that's that's cool, Castle. Oh my goodness, that is pretty cool. I've been a fan of Nancy. Hey, meow. I've been a fan of Nancy Grace since I was little, or young. So thank you, Anne. I appreciate it. And everybody say prayers for Anne and her sister too, because I know it's stressful. Even when you have a family member that's not feeling well, it's stressful still. Because we care. And Robini says they said one home was owned by LE and was not searched. So wasn't there, did Bobby mention one person in the neighborhood or two that was LE that showed up at the vigil? That they had, like, their little small neighborhood vigil, that Chris and Katie sent, like, reps for, like, from their family. Like, they sent either, like, I guess Bobby didn't know who exactly it was, but it was family of Chris and Katie at some capacity, that went to that particular vigil. But I couldn't remember if she said 2 law enforcement officers were there because they lived in the neighborhood, or if it was just one. But I remember there being some mention of that. Mally Cat, thank you so much for gifting a membership. That's so nice of you. Dreaming. Yes, congratulations to all the new members. We're trying to figure out what we should call ourselves, guys, just so, and I wrote them down yesterday. I think, sorry, I get to doodling on this stuff, and if I'm on the phone, so let's see. Ladies Insomniacs is the one that we came up with. Let's see. The Lady Owls, as somebody else said, that one was good. I know Mandy from Spirit Seeker Squad, she also said one time, like, the Freedom Family, which I thought that was cute. And then also, Star, you might have to help me out with this one. Oh, it was the Hooters one. Lady Hooters or something like that. I don't know. We'll come up with one, guys. Reach for the Sky. I'll let you know, Reach for the Sky, what's going on. YouTube is hard. Guys, if you ever have an issue with YouTube, you can't just call them on the phone. Like, you can't just call YouTube and be like, hey, I have an issue. Like, I'm pretty sure they're all bots. Like, I'm pretty sure there's no human beings working at YouTube. I could be wrong. But Castle says the dogs would have gone cray-cray if he was in the drainage pipe. That's what I'm thinking, like, because they had the bloodhounds around there. Now, one thing that kind of gives me pause and question is how many cadaver dogs? Were there cadaver dogs, and were they used in the first 7 days? Let's just say, because that was the most crucial time. Yeah, I don't know about the drain theory. I don't know how big the drain hole is. I didn't have enough time to consider all of those factors. Did it rain recently, and was there water washing through on that, on the property to the drain? That might make it more slippery, and I don't know. There's a lot to consider. Let's just put it that way. Before I would ever make a speculation. It's the same thing with the photo too. It's not like we could take that photo and it wouldn't hold up in a court of law, so to speak. I hate to say it, even though we see what we see, it is something, or sometimes we don't. Some people are like, I have no idea. And I was like that at first too.
So, but it would never hold up in a court of law. We couldn't be like, well, this outline definitely looks like Chris. What do you know? It would just never happen. We would need a more substantial piece of evidence. Let's just put it that way. We need more than just one piece of it also. And I think that's part of the problem. And I've said this a lot of times too, and it's not just to bash law enforcement. That's not what I'm trying to do. But what I'm trying to do is prevent this again from happening the way that it went down. Just because somebody lives in a nice house in a nice neighborhood doesn't mean that there's not ABUSE that's happening in the house. So we just really have to consider that and know that sometimes when it's a bad neighborhood, the house is run down, there might be poverty and not enough food in the house and things like that. Those are the kids that they focus on really quick because obviously it's a dire situation. But I just feel like the way that law enforcement approached this, they were operating, and these are their words, operating under the assumption that Sebastian walked off. And operating under that assumption for too long, there's evidence that is lost in that process, and that's just part of it. If you're not willing to explore every single option, then you fall short because the window of evidence gathering is super important. It's a smaller window, especially when there's people that are actively living in the crime scene, as Chris and Katie were. I think that I would feel a lot more comfortable had they treated it like a crime scene and gathered the proper information that they needed, the proper evidence, just in case, and then they could re-explore it because now it's gone. It's gone. MCE said then did Sebastian not have shoes on if he went outside, in my opinion? I mean, if he had gone out barefoot, they would have had a great scent to trail for him. It would have been arguably the best scent trail they could have had because they would have had footprints, and they also would have had direct contact with grass, road, whatever, pavement, whatever he was on, sidewalk, whatever. I just don't. Personally, my opinion is I don't think he walked out. I don't think that he would have made it very far in what he was wearing if he was only wearing a long sleeve black shirt, which is just like a t-shirt, but it's long sleeved, according to Chris and Katie. And then the black Adidas style pants with the stripes down the side. That's the warmest item that he could have been wearing that night, in my opinion. And then to not have any shoes or possibly socks. No one has confirmed that he was wearing socks or not. I know that whenever Chloe PI was asking Seth about those items and asking, and I think also Jacob also asked about that. Was he wearing socks? I mean, it's an important question because how would he make it if he was barefoot? Like, we're talking no shoes, no socks. Then he wouldn't have made it very far in that weather. It was cold outside. It was very cold, and he could have. I think he would have turned around if he was upset and walked out of the house. I'm leaving. I'm getting out of here. He probably would have tried to make his way back. He probably would have been in a situation. I don't see somebody. Okay, let's just put it this way. I'm going to back up. I was getting ahead of myself. I don't see anybody who is afraid of bugs, which I don't like bugs either. So I'm like that, who doesn't like bugs, who's going to just go walking through the woods with no shoes on. Even socks, even just socks. Think about how soggy your socks get from like dew on the grass. It's still not comfortable to walk long distances in just a pair of socks. You're going to end up with holy socks at the end of it, especially with all the wooded area. Chloe PI said that, and I have no reason to believe any different, but just as an example, when she was in the areas, in any direction around the house, and we can see that in the aerial view. So the main roads would be the most logical. Sorry, Django has a bone and he's really excited about it, so you guys are going to hear him playing with it. But either way, when it comes to him just wearing socks and making it that far, just assuming he was wearing something on his feet, it's just not. It's not feasible. It's not plausible. He wouldn't have made it that far. He wouldn't have probably gone in the middle of the woods in the night with a keychain flashlight. Let's just be honest. Sebastian was a smart kid. Sebastian is a smart kid. Figment of your imagination says, I can't figure out why no previous scent was picked up to Sebastian. I suppose never walked around the outside. He just got into a car and was in the garage. I mean, scent dogs would pick up days ago. Well, see, this is what's interesting, figment of your imagination, and that's a great comment, so thank you for that. The problem is with that is, well, my problem is that Katie said that he used the front door the most. This is Katie's words, and I'm not saying that we should believe anything she says, because hell, if we're being honest with ourselves and you know the situation, she's a liar. She is a liar. She lies about everything. We have caught her in several of these different inconsistencies and outright lies. I mean, there's only so much coincidence behind, you know, maybe she's telling the truth. Hold on one second, guys. I think Django's out of water. I think he's upset. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that, guys. He's very active tonight. Let's see. So, oh, okay. What I was saying is that Katie did say that Sebastian liked to use the front door. That was one that he used regularly, and that he would lock the door behind himself. Okay, so with that being said, it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because as figment of your imagination just said, Katie parked, and she said this to Nancy Grace, that she usually parks her Infiniti in the garage, and that her work vehicle stays parked in the driveway back at the end of the driveway. And we've seen this. We've seen that. We've seen her car parked at the end of the driveway, or excuse me, at the back of the driveway, and then Chris's camper, because I'm not even going to say it's Katie's, because they never stayed in it together as a family or anything like that, according to what he told Terry Lynn. But that was his work camper that he used, would be parked, you know, with that, because they have a very nice long driveway. But then she would pull her car into the garage. And so how many times, and that's a great question, figment of your imagination, how many times did Sebastian really use the front door in and out? Because by all accounts, he didn't have any friends in the neighborhood. Katie says he didn't like to play outside. He only likes playgrounds. So it's all just a big jumbled mess. It reminds me of like a ball of yarn that has just gotten so jumbled up, maybe a cat jumbled it up or something like that. And now you're having to pick it through and just pick at it and find things and straighten it out. And then right when you think you're getting somewhere, it's like there's this big old knot in it, and then you got to pick that knot apart. It's ridiculous. It's I'm sorry, but it is. It's ridiculous, because we can't get a straight answer. Shining Star, good to see you. And so it's just one of those things. Hey, Cricket. And Cricket says, I know that may not be what was expected to see or hear from Pincho. However, Narc Divers and CJ have been going with this theory. It's very, very much possible, and I trust Pincho's theory very much. Yeah, Cricket. I mean, that's the thing. It's interesting, guys, and I enjoy that, right? Because this case has gone on for a year. We have so many frustrating factors. When people are willing to put in the effort to take a look at a photograph, to take a look at this footage, which is, in my opinion, important. I know some people don't find it to be of any evidentiary value. They really don't think there's anything to it. They might be right too. But we have to consider all of these theories because one of them might be right. Maybe none of us will ever be right. And then some police officer is going to crack this case wide open, a TBI agent, whatever. And all, wonderful. It doesn't matter because that's what we want, right? It doesn't matter who does it. Just get it done already. It's to the point where it's just crazy. Like, what are we doing that this kid is out here and we're allowing a whole ass shit show and circus to keep going on and on and on? It's absolutely maddening to me. So yeah, Cricket, that's why I'm willing to show it, because I understand there are going to be people out there that are going to say, oh, yeah, that guy doesn't know what he's talking about. There's going to be people out there that'll be like, I just don't see it, and there's going to be other people out there that are like, wow, I really believe in this. And that's great. We need to accept all of the possibilities and everyone's opinions because everybody's opinions matter. And we all get to have those. Aw, that's cool, Meow. Thank you. That's so sweet. Thank you so much. Guys, I'm so behind on the chat. I'm so sorry because I'm just a chatterbox myself. But at the end of the day, I think it's interesting. The night owls, Lori says, the night hours, ladies of liberty. That's cool, Robini. That's what Island calls me Liberty. That's her nickname for me, and I love it. Freedom friends. That's cute. Debbie says what? Meow says, I've been gone for a week for Fort Worth, Texas to go through stuff before house is sold. Oh, wow, you're selling your house and had to drive a U-Haul pulling my car and a dolly scared me. Oh my gosh, yeah, I don't drive those big trucks or U-Hauls. There's no way. Not for me. I'm not a truck driver at all, so I feel you on that. And then I'd be nervous if my car was back there. Oh my Lord. We said no to Hooters. Star. You guys don't want to be the Hooters? Kind of reminds me of Hoosiers for some reason. Cricket says, and now where have Dog and Nick and Hong been? Seriously, it scares me. We haven't heard anything from them in a while. I haven't been on X, Cricket, and so I haven't noticed that, but I appreciate you letting us know because I didn't notice. X was getting really crazy too, so I hadn't been on there either. Although I did see the Dr. Scholl's video over there, so there was that. There was that. Hey, Scranton Strangler, good to see you. Lisa says, and in my opinion, it looks to me like CP is in the back leaning into the car. Seth Rogers' head is where you think it's with KP, I guess, standing behind Seth Rogers. Okay, that's interesting. Freedom Fighters is cool, Minnie. Freedom Fighters is cool. It reminds me of that Freedom Writers. That's neat. I like that one. I had a picture in here. Hold on, guys. Let me look it up. I have a picture of Seth and Chris Proudfoot at the vigil, and you can kind of see now Chris is leaning toward Seth. Let me see if I got it. Sorry, give me 1 second. That wasn't it. That was a different one. I have it somewhere. Maybe in this bunch. they're about the same height as each other. I just don't think, I don't think Seth is involved. I'm gonna just put it out there, and with a level of confidence. Um, I'm not saying that things don't happen. I'm not saying that I know everything. I just feel like, honestly, let me see if I can't crop this a little bit. Um, there we go. I'm just saying it seems to me that Seth was in fact at work, and when you work at the prison, especially, it's a pretty high security place. Now, should some evidence come out that is contrary to that belief, or we get some kind of proof, I'll be the first one to say it and be like, "Hey, I heard this happen here, and what the heck's going on?" All right, I had to crop it out, guys. I'm sorry. So that's the picture. You can see they're about the same height as each other. And um, I know that people will say, and I've said it too, that I think that Seth is a bit um, like wider, even like broader shoulders than Chris. But in this picture where they're standing, and now Chris is standing up on the curb a little bit, just to put that into reference for you, or perspective rather. Um, Chris is a pretty wide guy himself. I don't know why they continue to bash Seth when Proudfoot is pretty. Like, look at his huskiness. He's a husky man. He's a husky boy. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know, guys. I'm in a weird mood tonight. But either way, yeah, it's I don't know. I like freedom fighters mini. I'm gonna write that one down. Actually, because I'll forget it, and then I'll be like, what did she say? Okay. So, Robini likes that one too. Oh, thank you, Star. Give me a second. We voted night owls while you were getting ready. Okay, I know. And then again, you guys, I'm sorry that I was late tonight. Oh my gosh, I was a hot mess. Just a hot mess. Give me one second. Sometimes when you go down a rabbit hole of information, I don't know about you guys, I'm sure a lot of people do this though. You get to a point where you're like, oh, awesome. Oh, you know what, Star? It doesn't transfer onto this iPhone. If will you email me what you just sent me, please? Because it will. I can't pick up people who have Android on my my extra phone. It doesn't have it just goes off the Wi-Fi. Like, I just use my iPhone 11 just as a little like as a backup phone. It doesn't have service or anything like that. Debbie, thank you so much for gifting a membership. Debbie says what? Guys, make sure you thank her for that. I know about the ruckus video too. I was seeing some comments, like Cricket. I see your comment about the ruckus video. It's really hard. Aw, I know, Anne. I worry about stuff too, even though I do have an even. It's a good quote, but it's something that reminds me of Crystal's case because it was something that she had on her computer. But it's a good day to stop worrying about things we can't control. Is that? And I wrote that one down because I had trouble with that one. CB says, and CB, nice to see you. He was at the house and was supposed to be there. I will never believe he was elsewhere. You can hear me, or you can hear him on the audio. He was the cleanup guy, in my opinion. Are you talking about Mr. Rogers? You guys could use like the initials. Hey, Lori P, good to see you. Shining Star. Yes, ma'am. Forever Nikki's mom says it was February and cold in Tennessee. Thank you. They meant Sebastian. Not Seth. Thank you, Star. Thank you. Awesome. See, because I can get emails over here. Oh, I just got Kathy Kincaid's email too, Kathy. Thank you. Oh my gosh, guys, I need to be more organized with my email for real. It's an issue lately. Jennifer, good to see you. Yeah, I caught another yay, I caught another live. I live about 20 minutes away from Sebastian. I have always said that they need to run the BS and PF shoes with the dogs. I'm really interested in the shoes thing because Katie in Sebastian's shoes, and I know not everybody can kind of see this similarity, but they are awfully this similar. I'm not saying they're the exact shoes because I don't think they are. It looks like Sebastian's wearing like a New Balance, I believe because those ones have like the big N on them. Although we do have Nikes, and I don't know what the newer Nikes and things look like. I can always try to look and see. Scranton says I cannot keep my socks on if I step on a melted piece of ice. Exactly, because then and think about it. Your feet are like, then your feet are cold and wet, and like that is the most uncomfortable feeling. I would rather walk barefoot at that point. But then again, when it's so freezing cold, CB says I wish Seth wouldn't be planning another vigil. He has had plenty, in the dark team is already planning on setting him up, causing havoc. Not worth it unless they have police at the event. Bad feeling. I just said the same thing this morning. Actually, I said they need an officer at the vigil. I would request one. I would actually it would be money well spent to have a security guard there at the very least. Someone who's an off-duty police officer, someone who is credible as a witness, and someone who can regulate what's going on. Because obviously I don't watch those people, but since it was something that was said, I did put that part in the video where she was like, can I come to the vigil? And I mean, why would you want to go somewhere that you're not wanted or welcome? I don't understand. And it is to cause trouble and wreak havoc, and then they can turn around and say that Seth did something, and it's disgusting. Holly S says this. Think about it. We don't even typically see homeless people walking around with no shoes and socks. Literally never. Good point, Holly S. We don't see that, and the thing is that Sebastian wasn't the type of kid that would do that either. I mean, by all accounts, he was someone who liked to wear shoes. Even when, Katie said, okay, so Katie said that he liked to go outside in his socks to take out the trash, but that's not. If he was preparing to leave, I don't think that would have been a choice that he would make, if that makes any sense. But if he was in a hurry, then that's a possibility. Okay, Becky says Seth stated that the keychain flashlight was broken. Absolutely. And that's the thing too. Those little tiny keychain flashlights that you get, so as Chris described it, it was a little tiny keychain flashlight, the kind that you get from a vendor. So somebody that would be promoting their, for example, whenever we used to do open houses and things like that, the mortgage companies would come to the open house and they would bring swag with them, right? They would bring different little items that people could take away with them that had their logo, their information on it, and things like that. I've gotten a keychain flashlight that way. Sometimes people would do like koozies for your, can for the cans or bottles, just depending on how much money they wanted to spend on their swag and marketing. But that's That's where I've seen those before. The battery life on that is not going to be good, and it's not going to be strong. It's not going to be like an actual flashlight that you would, have. So, um, thank you, Lori. Okay, guys, I'm going to play this next part. Oh, Castle says, no, not true. The dogs did not have a scent inside and outside the Proudfoot home. However, no scent led him walking away from the house. Well, and the crazy part is if he took the trash out, why wouldn't there be um, any indication of that? How come the dogs wouldn't have went to the end of the driveway and then, then lost the scent, for lack of a better way to say it? Hey, Sabrina, good to see you. Sabrina says there should have been Sebastian scent taking out the trash. I mean, thank you, MCE. KP took the trash out, in my opinion. I would love to see the video. I won't believe that it was Sebastian taking the trash out unless I saw the video. And the reason why I say that is because, I mean, Seth said that he watched it and he couldn't make out who it was in the video. And I believe that, I believe that. Oh, me too, Holly. Oh my goodness. Hey, the analyst, good to see you. All right, guys, let's watch the second short clip.
These are the houses that block the road. So from the angle you're looking, okay, if you think there's lights on this road, look at this angle that you've got. It's completely blocked off. See that? There's no gap. And then this next house, this blocks off the next part. Each house at a diagonal angle completely makes a wall. You see that? You can't see this road from down at the camera. So with the light up the corner here and the white building with the arches and the pillars there, if I fade from the real video to mine, okay, watch. There we go. That's that light there. That's the blob in the middle of the screen. Watch again. You can pretty much make out the building and the arches if you look. That's the real video. It does look like arches and that light if you look at it. And then you go gradually, and something on the corner there. Have a look at that house. Just in the corner, you see. So here's the scene on my model. I've just built some quick temporary houses the right size to fit over the buildings that are on the map. As you can see, I just covered up the area that they were covering up. This building I actually built to match the actual house. I didn't put the windows on. This building's just chopped up from that building, but it covers the same area. They're just covering the area so that I could see what we could see. And that is blocked off. I've built a bit more detail at the back here. This is Sebastian's. This is the fenced off area. The lights are somewhere around here. I think that's a gate. I've made it a gate myself. It looked like a gate. I think you can open it. I put this white building in here just in case it's like blocking the light off, because if anything's walking this way they'll have to walk behind that, you see, and you'll see a gap in the light where it goes out. So I just thought I'll put the things there. I put the one tree in. There was a few trees, but they were small, so I didn't really think they was going to cover much up. And positioning the trees in the exact right place would be very difficult as well. So if the light blinks on and off, it's probably passing trees, but I would never be able to get the trees exactly right, especially the branches and everything. Now if we go to the other side of the house, we can have a look what the gates look like that way. So the person could come this way and travel diagonally across there, and that is the main theory of a lot of people, that is walked diagonally across there. And between those buildings. Let's take a look at the angle from the other side, and this is where the person would be coming out here, most likely, and into this area, which wasn't meant to be on the camera, but it is on the camera. Some people said it wasn't on the camera. There's the house with the light. Another change I've made is I've put real glass in this building here, just in case you can catch a bit of the light going behind the glass. You might just see it carrying on going, because you can see through it if it goes this way. So I made that real glass. It will work as real glass when it's recorded on the video, so you'll be able to see through that now. Let's just take one last look at the scene we're going to be looking at. The flashlight video is completely pitch black dark. We're going to use this image overlaid over the top to brighten the whole thing up, and then we're going to see the lights moving on the actual image as if it was the daytime. The light there, the building there, make a distance across there for us to look in that direction over there. It all works out, individual angles all add up to this one scene, with those roads blocked off over there by these houses. We have no option but to look along the grass and towards Sebastian's house. On the same night he disappeared, there was mysterious movements going on. It's very important, I think, that people take a look at this. Why on that night in particular these lights were moving around. Torch lights maybe. But you're going to see it now, and when you see it, you know, it's just shocking. It's kind of, you're going to forget to like and subscribe. Look, remember now, right, to like and subscribe, because once you've seen this, you'll be stunned and you'll just forget. So this is the flashlight video itself, with my image overlaid over the top. And as you can see, it's all lit up. It's unbelievable what you can see. So you can see Sebastian's house there. Okay, and all this area. And I'm going to press play now. So get ready. So if you watch again, right, you can see my light there. I've locked that light onto the light in the video, and you'll see me just shift it as well at the end, because they shake their hand. So what I did was I tracked it with them shaking their hand, just to keep the light in the same place at the same time. So watch my light there, how I locked it onto their light on the actual video. Did you see I tracked it with the light on my image? Well, I've just watched the final part of the video with my light overlaid over the top of the car pulling up everyone says there's a car pulling up here. But on my video, it's placed in this ditch, the light, and it seems to be heading to this drain here. Like somebody's trying to go into the drain. Is that what could have happened? I can't believe it. I might have actually solved what's happened to Sebastian with this video. Or what do you think? It's just unbelievable how that does actually look like somebody's going into that drain with a torch. I can't believe it. This could be real, or it's just like, look how accurate it is on the vehicles and everything. Could that be real? Could that be Sebastian going into that drain? Have I solved the whole thing with this video?
Sorry about that. I just read that comment. Hold on, let me go back to it. Sorry, Castle. Okay, Castle says, Lady F, please reread my comment. You read it wrong. The comment that I stated there was Sebastian sent. Did you say, okay, refresh my memory really quick and I'll go all the way down. Hey, Faye, I'll go all the way down. Hold on a second. Just let me know if you don't mind restating it because I can't see. Let me scroll up. Hold on. Yeah, see, and thank you for the super chat too. Give me a second here. Polly's cookies. Oh my goodness. I can't just sit there and like somebody that I don't like just the first thing in the morning and get my coffee and I listen to somebody that I don't like. I could never do that. I would never do that. It's like, you know, that's a good way to start out your morning real shitty. Tori, I think it's from my understanding and then watching it a second time, it seems to me that he thinks that Sebastian came out and fell into the drain. Is my understanding of it. Hey, Emily, good to see you. Emily says, I think Paxton's is right. I think it was, what my opinion of the video, it was really well done. It looks like the overlay is spot on. I will say that. Starflower says, I'm sorry, I don't agree. Hold on one second. Bear with me. Aw. Thank you, Minnie. Jacob stated that the flashlight that Sebastian had did work. Seth is not worried about the haters. He's worried about Sebastian. I agree with that, Castle. I agree with that. My concern about Pincho's video is that he only covers one flashlight instead of 3 flashlights. Love Pincho's work. That's just my thought, not bashing Pincho. Pincho, sorry. That is my sentiment exactly. I think it's extremely well done. I mean, the amount of time and effort and work that went into it, the overlay was really spot on, in my opinion, just from my visual perspective, right? We all have different visual perspectives. We're not all of us are going to see the exact same thing necessarily. But my biggest part where I don't understand, and maybe, I could email and get a better understanding. Because I would rather do that than speculate too hard on it. But I am worried about the second light source. And the third, I'm also, and I think that maybe he was saying that some of those light sources were coming from, how do I say it? From the house lights, from the lights in the neighborhood, because it's so pitch black that some of that can be reflecting off of it. And so I'm wondering if that's a possibility. But what about the light source that moves back through the yards and goes back towards the house? I also think that whoever came out of the house came out the back door. I don't think that they came out the front door, or they would have been picked up on the Ring camera from across the street. I think that they came out through the back. Um, am I missing one? Let's see. Of course, there was a scent of Sebastian in and outside of the Proudfoot home. However, not from walking away from the home. Yeah, and I mean, there's gotta be a scent around his house of him somehow. I don't think that he never ever came out of his house. Um, I think that would be crazy. Hey, Island, good to see you. Island says, I was wondering which video did he use the Nick Barris, since there are a couple of them out there, correct? The only one that I know of that is out there is the Nick Barris video. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong too, or maybe we could figure it out. But what I believe is that there's one video, but a portion of it was cropped out, and so it was zoomed in on, and that's what Nick Barris, the part that Nick Barris showed was like the zoomed in part of it that was at the top of the screen where the light sources were. He wasn't interested in the whole entire perspective or showing it. And that's my best take on that. That the small portion that we saw that was leaked out by Nick Barris was a cropped video of the larger video. If that makes sense. Thank you, Gracie. I was trying to say it right, guys. I don't want to, I mean, people are real touchy about these things. And Castle says there is more flashlights than Pincho didn't cover on his new video. And I didn't get to watch his first one as carefully as I should have, or would have liked to, I should say. So yeah, I do agree with that, Castle. That is one of my main it's not a concern. It's just one of those things that's stopping me from thinking the entire thing, is completely true. Or and again, it is speculation, guys, and I'm very impressed. I really am with his work. And Emily says, what if there was no scent because someone was hiding in the ditch? I mean, that's a possibility. If they're hiding, but see, if he was walking, there would have been a scent. If he's being carried, then there wouldn't be a scent. So it's very curious. It's just all very curious. Oh, good Lord. Oh, good Lord. Thank you, Gracie. Johanna says the lights in the video were too bright to be from the tiny keychain light, in my opinion. Yeah, I think so too. And then, like, I was showing you guys, like, this is my iPhone 11. It's an older one. But, like, look how freaking bright that thing is. I mean, that thing is bright. So, I mean, and it's compact. I can fit this in my back pocket if I'm wearing jeans. If I have a back pocket to put it in. And then I also have a couple like pairs of shorts where there's a pocket on the side, like that's made for a cell phone. So, I know that it wouldn't be so bright. And when I was moving, guys, I was trying to look for that freaking flashlight because it's a little green one. And it's how in my mind's eye, when Chris Proudfoot was explaining the keychain flashlight to everyone on Duchess, because I believe that's the one that he went into most detail about it. In that one, he said it was a vendor keychain flashlight, like something you would pick up at a vendor table. And so when I heard that, I thought, oh, and then I thought, oh, maybe Sebastian was at like an open house with, Mama Socks or something like that. Maybe he just so happened to be with her that day or something. But then I realized that they don't have that type of relationship. And then also Katie was saying that she likes to take him to festivals and that he picked one up at a festival. So, there's that. The only time I've really saw them was when people were trying to, they were like a swag item that you would, sorry about that shaking. It's like a swag item that you would get from a vendor. And Lady Roses says that's the light I didn't see going back to the house. I know, see, and that's the thing with the overlay. I wonder if it was covering it a bit because I guess I didn't see it. And I've only watched it twice, guys. Sometimes, we have to watch things over and over to analyze it properly, obviously. But Minnie says it wouldn't matter if they were scent specific dogs. That's a very good point, Minnie. So, I mean, it depends on the type of dog and the type of tracking that the dog does. That's why it's so important for us to understand and get the right information. And unfortunately, in this case, it's just been so frustrating because, one person says one thing. Well, no, it wasn't this. It wasn't this. But I will say that Ken Widener came out and said that the dogs were scent specific. He did confirm that, and I believe Ken Widener. And Lori says Sumner County Waterworks Place ran cameras in those drains. Now that one was included, I hope. Well, I would think the drain closest to his house would have been included, but I don't understand some of the things that have gone on in this case. But that's a great comment, Tori. Thank you. And then also, you're right. They were sticking cameras down in the storm drains, and they were checking everything. Like they were doing cave exploration. They had some cave experts come in, and that sort of thing. And they were definitely running cameras down. I believe that was happening around day 5, if I'm not mistaken, because they did have dive teams out that day. They had, I mean, they really used every single resource at their disposal. I just feel like they were going in the wrong direction. So it's almost like you're spinning your wheels. You're spinning your wheels, you're spinning your wheels, you're spinning your wheels. You're not really particularly getting anywhere if you're only looking at one explanation. So my biggest thing is that they should have been getting audits on the door locks. They should have been dusting for extra fingerprints just in case. What if somebody abducted him like Elizabeth Smart? What if somebody, because I'm going to tell you, those parents got dragged hardcore with Elizabeth Smart. She was a little girl that was taken out of her bedroom, and I believe that her sister was even an eyewitness to this, and nobody believed them. They were blaming the father. They were blaming everybody in the household because they're like, there's no way. Like this creepy man and his wife that was waiting in the woods, he came and stole Elizabeth out of her home, and he kept her for an extended period of time. And he even brought her out to different, like, into the community, but they would cover her face and things like that. It was the most bizarre story, and it was 100% an abduction. So just knowing that those types of things do happen, I think it is imperative for them to do these certain steps no matter what they think. I don't care if they think that a freaking UFO came and grabbed Sebastian, and they can't just operate off of that. They have to look at everything. And that's one thing that really upsets me about the way that law enforcement handled this situation, you know, and I'm not law enforcement and I'm not an expert either. I'm just a regular person, but it's just, in my opinion, that's the best way to handle those types of things. Is to, excuse me, those types of things. Um, an investigation where there's a missing child is to look at all options. Did he run away? Was he abducted? Or did the parents, whoever was with him last, have some kind of involvement in it? And those are only just three um, instances or scenarios or theories that it could be. But when someone goes missing out of their own home, there's only a certain amount of theories that it could possibly be, because aliens don't exist and they don't abduct kids out of their houses. It's not like, you know, on the Simpsons episode where the house is, you know, they take the top off the house and they bring them up through the, you know, and the aliens take him or whatever. That doesn't happen, right? That's not a possibility. That's not reality. Trishy says, Castle, in my opinion, from what I've seen and heard over and over, there was a track. Tracking dogs were used, but not a trail that led anywhere. That is kind of my that's really, really close to what I believe has happened. But the thing that's so hard is that the waters are so muddied when it comes to that, because whenever anybody's asked about it, like the parents who should have the most knowledge next to law enforcement about that, because that is something that I do feel was shared with them. I know that Seth was saying that he didn't have a whole lot of information being given to him through law enforcement, but there is evidence that, and this is coming from the horse's mouth too, like Ken Widener saying that he goes over in the morning, talks to the Proud Feet, and gives them updates, and they talk, and you know, they're very well in communication with each other and all of that. So it's just something that's very muddied, because you have someone like Chris who, if you ask him a question, he speaks in circles, like we saw with SF. If you say, Mr. Proudfoot, how many dogs came on the first day that Sebastian went missing? He's going to be like, well, let me tell you, I'm going to make it crystal clear. And then, you know, and he goes on and starts talking about himself, and all people are doing is bashing us. And, you know, he doesn't stay on track. And he does that for, in my opinion, he does that on purpose to confuse the situation. If he really wanted Sebastian to be found, he would be doing everything he possibly could do to help with the situation, to get the most accurate information out, the most accurate information from law enforcement out, but he doesn't do that. And then sometimes when we ask a simple question, he'll say, well, I'm not allowed to say that. They told me that I can't talk about that. But in reality, they never told him that he can't talk about anything, because that's against our constitutional rights. The police officers cannot tell us what we can and can't discuss. It's not up to them. And Becky says, it's 10:40 p.m. my time. I need my beauty rest. Good night, Becky. Thank you so much for being here. I'm sorry if I'm behind on the comments, guys. Island says, ooh, so the distance would play a part if the video was zoomed in. Absolutely. And that's what's so hard about it, is because it's all about, and just remember too, Pincho's doing a reenactment, if you will, a recreation, I think is maybe a better way to say it, a recreation. And he is trying to overlay this video and make it more clear to see, using the technology, whatever program he was using. It looked like he kind of built it out like a Minecraft, you know, world or something like that, which is really neat. You have to be extremely intelligent to do these things. Just to throw that out there. But it would definitely, in Island, and that's kind of what I was getting at earlier too, was depending on the exact position of the camera, depending on the type of camera, depending on the movement of lights. See, the thing that I can't get down with is that any of these lights that we saw moving in the Nick Barris cropped video, I'm not going to get down with the fact that those are stationary lights, but they're moving. There's no way in hell you're ever going to convince me of that. No matter how many times you try to convince me of that, I will never, 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 never believe that. Light sources that are stationary in that video, although it is very difficult to see, are stationary. The ones that are moving across the yard and then going back to the house. I mean, come on, guys. Come on. Please, come on. Stay with me here. Stay with me. Johanna says Mob Crew has more of the lights video perspectives. And hey, guys, like I said, it's one of those things that I respect and admire people who can do that type of work. It's awesome. It was an awesome video. I thought visually that it was a great representation of what the angle could have been, based on the video and then him doing the overlay. I think it was very accurate, as accurate as it could be. And then also he's going to have a different opinion based on what he's seeing than what I'm seeing, So I mean, it's very interesting to me. I find it absolutely interesting. Lisa says, Lady, I would like to know that it was Sebastian that I was speaking. Oh, okay, not Seth. Okay, so you were speaking about Sebastian and not Seth. Thank you. And Anne says, I hear on someone else's channel that CP was there until 10 p.m. that night, and I can't remember when or whose it was on. I'm trying to think of who that could have been. Was it in the beginning interviews or was it one that was kind of more recent, Anne? Because I remember hearing something about that as well. Rob Beanie says, yes, I would like to see the one that TY had went back to the house as well. I did think in the beginning, I thought I saw someone with a hood crouching by the drain. I'd like to know how deep that drainage ditch is. It looks pretty. Let me see if I can't just pull up a picture for you guys of a closer view of it, because I thought I had one around. Let's see. Okay. And then I also have this one you can see by the gazebo. Okay, now I know. I was gonna say courtesy too, because these images are not mine. This is from Bullhorn Betty. I was making sure that what it was. So those three past images that we all looked at just now are Bullhorn Betty. And then again, the gazebo. And then something really interesting also that Gracie's Gavel had mentioned as well um, was the fact that the magnolia trees are going to still have leaves on them. And I thought that was an interesting little tidbit right there. Good night, Becky. In my opinion, Rob Beanie says, sorry, I didn't get that far down, you guys. Yeah, he's truly a genius. I believe so too, Island. Like, I'm very impressed. No matter what I think of my theory is and whatnot, I mean, oh my gosh, yeah. Amazing, very amazing work. Johanna says, I hope someone adds the lights in car to Pincho's video if he doesn't. I mean, we know that there was a car. That's another thing that I'm hung up on. So thank you, Johanna, for jogging my memory and everything. I'm very hung up on that because according to Bobby, the neighbor, there was a car that was parked on the corner up there that backed out onto Kellen and then out of the neighborhood. So I can't discount that in my brain. I really can't. It's kind of stuck there, for lack of a better way to say it. It's got an apartment up there. And Robini says there would still be a scent where he was laying, though, in my opinion. There definitely would be. So, there would be that transfer of scent, even though like maybe we can't always like smell, people's different scents, but especially like if you're wearing perfumes and I don't know who all wears what, if they wear cologne, if Proudfoot wears cologne or whatever. Or hell, maybe Sebastian had cologne because he was getting older and maybe that was something that he was using. I know that Katie said some very foul statements about him on Queen Bee, talking about how Sebastian didn't smell very good. So I would think that as a mother, you would take him to the store and be like, hey, would you like to buy some type of, and I'm sorry guys, I'm going to show my age here, but like Cool Water or, Curve or something like that. But oh, good, Gracie, I'm glad you're here. But yeah, I mean, depending if there was a cologne scent or something like that, that would also account for his scent. It would mix with his scent, if you will. And so, yeah, if somebody was laying in the ditch, they would definitely, the dogs would track. The dogs would track right there. And then whenever the scent is lost, they, do their little thing depending on what it is how they're trained. But it would stop and then the handler would understand and it would be known that the scent was, gone. Yes, Castle, I think Pincho does amazing work too. Yeah, I think there is going to be more to come, Deborah. Nice to see you. I think so too. MCE says, and yeah, I heard that video was well. I heard that video as well. I can't read tonight, guys. I'm so sorry. CP saying he will never be found, and I can't find that video either, in my opinion. He said it a couple times in a couple different ways like that, Elisa says, we can usually catch when this happens. I think we have all mixed up Seth and Sebastian's name. Isn't that funny? Sometimes sometimes I do that and I'll be like, Seth and Katie, and I'm like, why does my brain do that? Because they've been divorced quite a while. Trishy says, I think they were headlamps or from phones, in my opinion. Definitely, the headlamp theory is a strong one, in my opinion, too, because it's a hands-free, right, method of, you can carry stuff. You can do whatever you want, use your cell phone, that sort of thing. So, to me, it is a strong possibility. It did look like the way that they were moving, the flashlight was kind of, it's hard to say. They did kind of look like they were up towards the head rather than like someone holding a flashlight down here or something like that, or holding it towards the ground. A lot of times people will hold it towards the ground so you can see your path, type of a thing. So, hey, Just Dawn, good to see you. Aw, you guys are so sweet. Lori says, I mix the names up all the time. My autocorrect drives me nuts. Oh no. Oh no. Well, and like I appreciate you guys letting me know if I misread your comment, because there's some, and sometimes you might even see a look on my face like I have no idea, maybe I've read that wrong or something like that. So I'm sorry about that. And Scranton Strangler says MCE. I heard it too. I can't remember where. I know he's said that kind of stuff a few different times. Just this is a case that's going to be studied. Poof, he's gone. We have nothing. There's just nothing. Uh, Tori says the flashlight was like a laser light, very small. Yeah, exactly. It's just like a little squared off keychain, and then the one I had actually had like a tiny little bulb on the outside. Gosh, I wish I could find that flashlight. It is a vendor flashlight. It's from a mortgage company, and it's driving me nuts because I know it's somewhere around here on one of my old key rings. And when I moved, I was like, oh, hopefully I'll find it, and no, I did not. Lisa says, I know, but I just feel bad because I don't think the Seth Rogers is for both. Oh, yeah, Seth and Sebastian, but it was Sebastian I was talking about. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, SR, yes, SR and SR is the same. And I know some people will call Sebastian Seb for sure. I've seen that, and I've seen that before too. But it is hard if you do the initials. Faye says he was carried wrapped in something, in my opinion. I think so too. I really do. I think so too. We'll show the images that I enhanced right here, guys. We'll just put them up there. This is the first one that is just, raw, no labels, nothing. I'll show it again. Which part do you guys want me to see it? Or excuse me, which part you want to see? I'll play it again. Hey, I am Two Bear. We'll definitely, just let me know if you guys want me to replay it. They're all really short clips, so it's not anything that we would have to like sit here and watch for 20 minutes. Hey, Unnamed True Crime Channel, good to see you guys. Boy, oh boy, I'm way behind on the chat. Fred, good to see you. Margaret, oh, sorry, Margaret. Margaret says, Margaret says, I used to wear one if the men's perfume and it smells like the woman's cool water. Yeah, some of them smell really good. There's one by Dolce and Gabbana, and it smells really good. It's kind of a unisex one that I've worn before, but it's a male one, but it smells really pretty. Emily Guthrie, good to see you. Where did the photo come from? Is it from the video? From a video? Yes, it is. The one that I enhanced it was. Yes, it was from the flashlight video. I'm confused about where the images came from, like which part of the video. Me too, Lady Tit for Tat. I wished I knew. If I knew that, I would be in better shape because I would be able to say a little bit more. This was just, and I'll say it again, guys, just because I know, everybody isn't always in here at a certain point in time and whatnot. So the first image that was popped up here was an enhanced image. Let me go back. Let me do this. So this is the original image that was on Twitter. It was just this like this. But this is a cropped in one a little bit. And somebody else enhanced this image. Somebody else enhanced this image. This was not me. I believe these are Justin's images, if I'm not mistaken. And when I enhanced...
But y'all say that.
Sorry, silly. This is my image that I enhanced myself. I put it into Gracie's Gavel. Here, let's just start over. Gracie's Gavel sent me the image. And, oh my gosh, I have to back up even more. Blah, SpongeBob. Okay. Minnie sent me these images. Let's just start over. Minnie sent me this image like this, but it was a little bit longer. This is a cropped in one. And she sent me this one too. And I'm like, I have no idea what I'm looking at, right? I'm like a dork. And then Gracie sends me this image, but it looks more like this image, right? And so I take it into my photo editor and I edit this like just like this, right? And I did make another video too. I can even probably do a short on it. But either way, this is the end result of just me enhancing this photo. And what I saw in the picture at first was Sebastian in the black blanket, Chris Proudfoot carrying him, which he does look like a Lego man in here. I will concede that point. And he's wearing a white shirt. Again, we went into depth about this last night, but it's possibly not a white shirt. It's just because whenever the camera sees night images, it turns them to grayscale. So this is even like a further enhanced on a grayscale. I thought there was an arm draped around, like as in he's carrying Sebastian and his arm is draped around him, his shoulder. But then when I sent it over to our good friend Star, excuse me, she, and we'll just have to wait a second. I sent it to her like this because I was like, what do you think? I sent her the first one we just saw and then I labeled it for her and I was like, okay, this is what I see. Like, you see the, here pointing, this is arm over the shoulder. This is Chris's face. This is Sebastian being carried and this might be a truck, right? This is all alleged, in my opinion, guys. Purely speculation. Purely speculation, which I have every single right to do, just like you guys. Don't let anybody bully you around. Okay. So, as we're going through this, just bear with me because it's on a video. So it should be changing over any second now. But since Star and I live across the country from each other, this is how we were kind of communicating about this photo because I'm like, I do see it now. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. And Gracie and I were going back and forth and collaborating on the image. What do you think it is? And we were laughing because we're like, dang it, we should have been, we should listen to Minnie. And then Star sends me this one back. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see now the outline. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, that looks like Katie. It does look like another person there. Maybe it's not an arm hanging over the side. Maybe it's a person. And sorry, I'm smoking a cigarette. So, as you can see, and it does, it looks like it could be, a male member, if you will. But if you, can put your adult thinking hair cap on, because I know it's hard for me too. You guys know me, I'm a jokester. If you look, it does look like an outline of a head of a person, right? And then it does look like there might be a person behind that. And so basically what Star was trying to do is show me what she was seeing from her perspective, right? So these images that we're looking at, especially in these three, and I'm going to play them again. Especially in these three, this was the one that I was sending out to everybody, but people were like, what am I looking at, right? And then I'm sending it labeled out like, okay, this is what I see. Because obviously, and then Gracie and I live a couple states away from each other. So it's not like her and I are sitting in the same room and we're like looking at the photo together and we can actually point things out together. We're having to label stuff and send it back and outline it and all of that. So, again, the labeling of this photograph was never done in a malicious way. It was all purely speculation and to convey and communicate to each other what we were seeing. So I don't want that to get twisted. I know it's going to, but it's just, I mean, it is what it is, guys. I don't have any reason to lie about it. And also, I'm not going to take credit for someone else's hard work. I'm just not going to do it. I know for a fact that it was hard for Star to do the outline because it was a pain. I couldn't even do an outline. Let's just put it that way. Like, I would have outlined it if I could have, but when I did send her one that was outlined and like I filled it in and stuff, it looked like a third grader did it. It was hilarious. And actually, a third grader probably could do a better job than I did. Just being honest. But this is what I originally saw. An arm draped over the side, Chris's noggin, Sebastian being carried in a blanket, and what have you. And then a possible truck, maybe even, I mean, there were vehicles across the street. We saw that in Pincho's video. And so, especially where the, I mean, it does look like there's a vehicle, truck or something parked in front of them and they're walking toward it, is my perspective. And this is all in my opinion, guys, allegedly. Don't come for me. You're allowed to have your own views too. But then when Star sent this back to me again, I'm like, oh, wow, okay, now I see something different. That's the beauty of allowing other people to share their opinions. We can all have different perspectives. But at the end of the day, this image was a group effort, collaboration. And I would rather do something like that and get other people's points of view to get a better educated guess on it. But then what happened was, as I posted it on my community tab, asking people if they're seeing this too. Do you see what I see, kind of a thing? And then I ended up making a short video about it because I did see some value in it. It definitely looks like it was, and from the origins and my understanding of the origins is that it was posted on X, that Justin had this image before and was discussing it on his channel. And that's how the image came to the world, if you will. But this part right here, I just want to reiterate this again, just for anybody in the nosebleeds or anybody that's confused about it. This is my image that I enhanced. Nobody else enhanced this image to look this way besides me. I put it into my software, and me and Gracie were talking about it, or Gracie and I, excuse me, we're talking about it. And I was like, it didn't take me very long to get that image enhanced, did it? Like I did it really quick, and then I sent it back to her because I was so surprised at what I saw, because it kind of started out just like this. And there's another one like this. And then I took it and made it
But y'all say that.
this. So just to kind of explain the process and the thought collaboration behind it. One thing that I find, and I said this last night, so I hope I'm not being repetitive again tonight. I would hate for you guys to watch the same damn live you watched last night. But I find it to be like super amazing that we have people all over the country. We have people who in here, viewers who are from the UK, from Australia, that are all working together to try to figure this out. Nope, like a minute, Gracie said. Girl, I was I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. And we were both like trying. So I was trying to show you, I really, that was a time when I was like, I wish that we were in the same room together, because we would have been, able to really like, oh, what is this, but either way, it's just, I think it's so cool that, like, even at this juncture in a case when typically, unfortunately, some of these cases, people stop talking about them and they're on to the next case. But in this situation, we are seeing people all over the place, all over the world, that are interested in Sebastian's case still, even going into it being a full year in. It is very, very, very important for us all to come together with any information we have. We should not be hateful towards each other, or, oh, well, I can't believe that guy did that. Well, at least he's trying. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with me. When people were upset about it, there were several. Let's just put it that way. We're not naming any names. We're not pointing any fingers. There were several other creators out there that went after my integrity because of this photo, right?
But y'all say
Keep pressing the wrong button. Right here, they went after my integrity because I posted this picture purely speculating. I'm sorry, but I see a face. It might be Jesus in the toast. It might be the dress, where some people see, stripes, other people see green, other people see blue. We all have different opinions, eyes, perspectives. but at least we're all working towards a common goal, right? That's the most important thing. So, hey, Jana, good to see you, sweetheart. Thank you. You can have your own opinions. Exactly. As long as people aren't being, horrible to each other, Um, ooh, spaghetti, Lori, that sounds good. Southern Soul True Crimes, good to see you. I see feet, she says. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I'll show you this one too. I don't see Limelight in here. Limelight, if you're in here, hun, thank you for being here. I'm just gonna pop this one out. Now, this is credit to Limelight Girl, Limelight Punk. Her photo that she enhanced. This is her enhancement of my photo. And you can see that, like, because this is Star's writing that she did that in the outline. And then this is the one that she enhanced, which is fantastic. This one is showing us more purple and red hues in it. And it's a really, really interesting, because when I look at this one now, again, I'm thinking, is that an arm? Or you know what I mean? It changes the perspective when you see the different modifications of the picture. Which is I just think it's so interesting. But she did a fantastic job on this. And that the one that I see there, and again, I don't know which program she used. I don't know how Limelight is amazing. And she has some awesome videos, like music videos, posted on her channel too, if you guys like rock and punk rock and stuff like that. It's really cool. So Deborah says the audio is very telling, and it is, especially if it's pertaining to this photo, because in the audio it is said that there are different voices that would be like, that sound like the feet, right? Not to point anybody out or blame them for anything, but it does seem to match up. MCE says, "Lady, sorry to sound like a broken record. Did you get my email where I outlined?" Oh, let me look at it. I'm so sorry. I missed that. And I'm sorry, guys, when there's a lot of people in the chat, I'm still getting used to that. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Let's see. Oh, okay, I see. Okay. Oh. So this is again, my image that I did, and then Star outlined it. Hold on, I'm so sorry. Let me take this off there. But you can kind of see, and I see facial hair as well. I do. I see the facial hair. I see the dark hair. The fact that Chris has black hair, it's very dark brown, if anything, is the reason why they're saying that he looks like a Lego man. And I can concede that. I can definitely get down with that in this photo. So his head kind of looks a little bit more boxy, but that's because of his hairline, and you can see that when it's enhanced on the purple. You can just see it. So it's just interesting. And I'm sorry if people don't see the image the way that it's being shown, or or that sort of thing. And I will say this as well. I was confused as to where it actually came from too. What part of the flashlight video? All I can guess is when they're walking towards the road, because they're closer to the camera, as they're coming up. They wouldn't be, this most likely isn't a picture where they're coming up the middle of the common area, if you will, for lack of a better way to kind of explain it. This has got to be once they're up closer to the camera. And in my opinion. And that's just, an educated guess based on what we know about cameras and what the angle was. And they would have to be close enough for us to see any type of outlines of a human being as we're seeing in this photo. And then I also want you guys to just be able to take a look at this really quick and see the height difference between Chris and Katie. There is a very small height difference. They are about the same height, give or take maybe an inch and a half, in my humble opinion. So and then also we have to keep in mind too, this is a picture of them when they're younger. So, oh no, Star. She's probably getting sick of hearing about this damn photograph. I'm just playing. Oh no. That's why I'm not a nurse, she said. Poor baby. Aw, I hope she feels better. Oh gosh, I hope she didn't have the flu. Golly. You had an exorcist party in there or something, Star. Liz says matches the shape of CP's head. Sorry, Liz. I try to be okay. See, I tell everybody be mature, be an adult, and then I laugh. Oh my gosh. Okay, forgive me. Let me gain my composure. Um, Liz says matches the shape of CP's head and how he holds it. I agree, and I did do a brief comparison in my video that I put out. Let me see if I could just pop it in. I should have been a little bit smarter and grabbed that up earlier, but there we go. Give me a second. Let me see if I can't skip to my loo on that one and get it back. To the one part. Okay. Sorry, let me close that down. But I did do a brief comparison. And then also in the video that I showed, I also showed you guys how I was able to enhance the photograph. So I was showing you the different types of filtering and things like that I was doing. And I kind of put them into a progression so you can see it. Like this is what, camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 4, how I did it. And that way, because I wanted you all to be able to take a look and see it like that. Kind of what I did and why I would think that what my thought process was behind it, if you will. And just like in this, you can see, you can just see the difference in, doing it with one filter at the photo on the right, doing it on the photo with the left. This is going to have more grayscale, obviously, in it. But that was the best way that I can show that the face and whatever's on the shoulder is one and the same kind of parts of an image, right? Because those never changed. They stayed the same throughout the process. Those were a constant. And that was one thing that caught my eye. And oh, lordy. Give me a second. Give me a second. I'm just trying to find it. Okay. It's hard to tell now when I'm looking for it. Sorry, guys, because they played my video like a couple of times. Well, they played Betty's over. Oh, here it is. Okay. So.
Why are y'all just now focusing on this? This is the original image that I received, and this is a close-up of that image that was already.
Oh, sorry, that's kind of crappy. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry.
That's all I did was an image that I received.
Here's the original image, just so you all can see it really quick. This is what Gracie sent me to begin with. So you can see I did even crop it up a little bit in. And if you can see the top, and if you all watch Justin, then you'll know that he has that background. So that, I think that did come, the screenshot that was on X had to have been from that, but just to put it into perspective. And
this is a close-up of that image that was already enhanced. And all I did was enhance the image further, and then I labeled it to show a friend who lives out of state that I texted it to, and she text messaged me this image back. Not very hard to figure out. Goodness sakes, you guys are just as nervous as these two. Like I said, Bobby's not the only one. Lousy. You should...
yeah. Blech. Okay. And let me show you this one too while I'm at it. Because that one wasn't a long one. Here's a sneak peek of tonight. Okay.
Hello, everyone. All tonight. He took out the trash. Going through.
That is exactly what it is.
And the thing, the one thing I do want to bring up, just that kind of jogged my memory when I was looking at this video, just trying to find this clip. One thing that really was, hey, Limelight Girl, good to see you. I just showed your image, so thank you. This is the gal right here. She's amazing. And one thing, as I'm going through this, that really kind of gets my goat, was the fact that SF tried to say that Seth told everybody that Sebastian took the can to the end of the driveway. That is the farthest thing from the truth, and he knows it. But they love spreading misinformation because they want people to get upset, and they want to take the focus off of Sebastian, off of what happened to him, and off of the night in question. And so we've seen them do this through the entire process, in my opinion. We saw Chris basically with the dog scent. We've seen him do it with the flashlight video. We've seen him do it with just any little question. What time was the thud? And he can't let Katie talk. It's quite annoying and off-putting. And she's a grown woman. She can talk. Do I think that she's afraid of Chris? I do. I do think that. I did a video about it not too long ago, just explaining the reason why I thought that, because in Mr. and Mr. E's Crimecast video, they were talking about that, and I found it to be something that was noteworthy and something to consider majorly in this case, because it's something she told the police, apparently, or DC blah, 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 CPS, DFS, whatever they call it, social services, that she was afraid of Chris. They were also saying that CPS was getting upset with Katie because she was allowing Sebastian to live in a household with this asshole. It was on her. It was her fault as a mother to allow this going on. They get tired of showing up. And and the saddest part is instead of putting this asshole where he belongs, they'll blame it on her. So what'd she do? I'm afraid. Textbook, classic, happens every day. Happens multiple times a day. They'd rather blame the mother, which I'm not saying she should have done better. But in the same way, when you're scared and you're in a DV situation and people, you're being broken down all the time, and God forbid, hopefully not physically harmed, fear is going to trump any type of emotion. I was watching a DV documentary, or it was somebody telling their story. And this woman's husband told her this. This was kind of like almost a direct quote from her, but she says, she asked him, why do you do this to me? Like, why do you make me so afraid of you? Why are you doing this to me? And he said, because fear lasts longer than love. And if you fear me, you know, you can stop loving me at any time, but if you fear me, you're never going to stop fearing me. And there's nothing farther from the truth. And that shows how sick and twisted these fuckers really are. Excuse my language, I'm sorry. It's a touchy subject. All right, here we go, guys.
Where you can see Mr. Foot carrying something, but upon closer...
Oh, sorry. I'll just give you all my bank information. How's that? All right. I'm trying to put this up. Here we go.
And I decided to do some further enhancements on it. So here's one shot where you can see Mr. Foot carrying something, but upon closer review and more enhancement of the photo, this is what I see now to be Katie, Chris, and Sebastian. They're carrying Sebastian. It looks to me as if Chris is carrying Sebastian in either a blanket or a bag. I see a blanket just because of the way the black shape is formed, and it looks like he's carrying him like a baby, and Katie is standing behind him or walking with him. The reason I think this is because when I was enhancing the photos, I could see the differences in the appearance of what looks to me to be a human face. And it looked to me like it was actually a human arm that was draped over the person who was carrying the black blanket, or the perceived person in the black blanket. But here's an example of what I saw. Here you can see the differences and enhancements, and as I enhanced each photo, you can tell that the person's skin stays the same color and the black blanket also stays the same color. So I know that those two images are associated with each other. So as you can see, each time I enhance the photo, you can see that the core images stayed the same. And then there's this little nugget. Let's watch.
Okay. And there's a little bit more like of different things, because like whenever I was doing the editing and stuff like that, I just so happened to have a notification, or maybe it just, you know, was a recommended, and it was from the CNY family. I'm sorry. And they do an awesome job over there. I highly recommend checking them out. But with that being said, just to kind of give you guys, no, Gracie, no, but I intend on addressing it. Forever Nikki's mom. Oh, okay, sorry, I just wanted to see what your comment was. I won't post it. No, Gracie, he's never reached out to me. Justin has never reached out to me. I didn't even know that Nancy Grace was going to show my photo. They haven't asked me for permission, so I'm a little bit confused as the process. This is the first time that anybody's wanting to use any type of a image of mine or anything like that. So, and it's not even, I mean, it's just the one I enhanced. So, but I would think that they would have to follow a certain criteria. I've been trying to get a hold of people about that today. Oh my gosh, Boston Bridget. Hey girl. Hey. Oh, you're so sweet. I love you too, girl. I love Boston Bridget is awesome, you guys. If you ever want to have a good laugh and just a sweet person, she's got the cutest dog, Maxie. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. Go over and check out Boston Bridget. If you guys could drop her link, please. She's so hilarious. Like, I'll be having the worst day, and somehow she always has a good post that like of exactly how I'm feeling that day, and I'm like, damn, she's good. So check out Boston Bridget. She's awesome. Polly's Cookie says CP and KP look usually happy and pleasant in that younger puppy photo. And oh, excuse me. I cannot read today, you guys. I need a V8. All right. So CP and KP look unusually happy and pleasant in that younger puppy photo and innocent. It was before all the bad stuff, in my opinion, a happier time. I agree with that. I agree with that, guys. They did look like I'm gonna say this, all right? I try to do whatever, as how call it how I see it. They look like a cute couple right there. If we were to go into their house and, be like, what's going on? Um, type of a thing, in terms of as like a social worker, right? Um, yeah, totally. I would think, oh, what a nice, cute, happy family. Both military, both Navy people, clean cut, right? Even Chris has that, kind of I'm a nice guy smile, you know. Oh, you thought you were being clever with that one, didn't you? Look how clever these people are. Oh my, you're not clever. Not at all. We'll just ban you right off the bat. We're not putting that one in. Guys, if you see something like that, timeout's not going to work for someone like that. Joy says NASA has the video programs to see inside the lights and should be sent there by Sumner County. In my opinion, seriously, Sumner County needs help beyond the FBI video programs. I mean, I'm surprised they don't have. I mean, it's just funny how a good program, and I'm even going to say I like Limelight's image better because to me, I can see more in it. If we can do this as amateurs, there's got to be a way that they can do a better job. I mean, there's just got to be a way that they can do a better job. I mean, I don't know what else, how else to say it. I just feel like I do feel frustrated with that. I do. Let me just ask, was the dark cloth? Oh, what is the dark cloth or whatever? Carrie, I'm not 100% sure what the photo is. I'm only purely speculating, but in my opinion, it looks like someone's wrapped in a blanket. Like it looks like someone. I keep doing this. He's not a baby, but it looks like he's being carried out. So it's just weird that blanket is super dark, 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 if it is a blanket, in fact. But I do think it's a blanket. Some people have said they thought it was, I've heard garbage bag or, and I know this is awful, guys, or a military pickle bag, which is one of those big duffel bags. It's like army green duffel bag. So I don't really like that Mike Damon guys. He's a little bit, yeah, blanket or a bag. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Check after live and blur if it showed anything. I will. I'll check it, MCE. Thank you. Hey, Sylvester. Oh, I know. It's scary. Carrie. Or, oh, my goodness. Star, you're hilarious. Sunny Days, good to see you. In my opinion, the mom was the last person with Sebastian. She's got, blah. She's not scared. Innocent woman. I've always just had like a both. You know what I'm saying? I've had like, oh, she knows exactly what she's doing. I'm so mad. And then I've had, oh, maybe she's scared. When Tony said that, it just really stuck with me. It really, really did. And I'm trying to keep an open mind about it. But I also think that it's strange that if that was in fact in one of the reports, then I'd believe it because I don't think, how do I say this? Katie's a very smart person. I'm not saying she's not smart. What I'm saying is I don't think she's that slick where she would, foresee this happening, and be covering her butt or setting up for future type of a thing. And that's just my opinion. She might be that slick. She might be that cunning. But I don't think that she was able to do that, like, oh, I'm going to make sure I say in the report that I'm scared, and so that way they're not going to look at me, they'll only look at Chris. I think she's protecting Chris as much as Chris is protecting her, you know. Deception detective. Yeah, that Mike guy, he's just said some very like harsh things. And I'm not familiar with him, and I probably won't become familiar with them. Um, Emily says blanket would probably be biggest to cover a body, you know, and I think just the way it's like, the reason why I say it is because of the way it's like laying. It's like, you know, it's like draped downward. And I would think that that duffel bag would be like more of a round, you know, it would have a rounded uh, corner on it. I mean, it definitely looks like that image is one piece or person, in my opinion. Hey, Kaika. Good to see you merge. Southern, it is sickening. It is sickening, Sylvester. It just absolutely is wretched to think about this poor young man. Um, Southern Soul True Crime says, I agree with you. She is master manipulator. You know, guys, I will say that I have had that same thought and feeling about KP. I really did. Johanna says, I don't think KP is afraid of CP. This is CP's longest lasting marriage of 5. Good point. So to me, that says a lot. Remember, she chose military development over caring for her special needs child. That is true. That is true. She definitely, and that's why I have a hard time getting on board with bashing Seth, because I feel like Seth and Sebastian bonded more closely in his formative years, and that was because Katie wasn't there. And if he was such a bad, horrible, you know, rotten person, why did she take off and leave her child with him? I mean, it's a legitimate question. And I'm not trying to be, you know, mean to her or anything. I absolutely root for women who um, want to have a career and who work hard at it, you know, and things like that. I also am very grateful for all of our military people. So I don't want to get that mixed up. And I believe that a man can take care of their child if they're, you know, if they're good dad. Um, you know, they should be able to take care of a child just as a woman takes care of a child. Now, we are more nurturing. I get that. We have different parenting styles. We're different, you know, gender wise. I get that. But there's no reason why Seth shouldn't have been able to take care of his own son. I don't discount or think that he, you know, he was incapable of doing that. But what I'm saying is that, and I can't even really fully blame Katie for going off and pursuing her quote unquote dreams of being in the Navy. But what I do have a problem with is them bashing Seth again. And he was good enough at the time. He was good enough to have a kid with. He was good enough to leave and I don't mean the kid in a, you know, please don't misconstrue this, guys. Just stick with me here. But there's, the fact of the matter is you don't leave your child with somebody that you think is a horrible monster and terrible person. You just don't do it. And if she did do that, then maybe CPS did have a reason to get on to her about her parenting decisions. But in my opinion, I think it's just all because, I'll just be honest. I think it's all because when Seth came out and he started talking about the issues that were really going on in the beginning, Chris and Katie, oh, we have a great relationship. We co-parent. He can go over to his dad's whenever he wants. It's just great. It's wonderful. The whole problem that Chris has is with his daughter and his, you know, ex-wife, and they're going through a custody battle. But with us, we co-parent tremendously. We're, you know, Chris and Seth talk all the time, and if Sebastian wants to go over there to his dad's, all he has to do is let us know, as long as it's not on a school night. Da 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 da. Made it seem like it was this ideal situation, a co-parenting dream, if you will. And for whoever's out there divorced and has kids, it can sometimes be very difficult to juggle, because you may have something on a certain weekend that they are doing something. It's great grandma's 90th birthday, but it's the other person's weekend. And if the other person is an asshole, then you're going to have a hard time getting your child to be able to attend the 90th birthday party. Let's just be honest with it. That happens all the time. But if you have a good co-parenting relationship, the ideal thing, the best thing for the kids, then you're going to be like, okay, well, yeah, your grandma's turning 90, fantastic. I tell her happy birthday. Of course we can switch weekends off. Same thing. And then when that person needs to switch it up, then you say, "Oh, absolutely. I hope you guys have a blast." That is the best case scenario. That does not always happen. There are hurt feelings, and you know, and that's what happens. There might have been somebody that was slighted, and it sounds like at the end, it sounds like Katie did not want nothing to do with Seth. And Seth was done dealing with whatever they were going through in their personal relationship, which back then, I don't really think it's relevant to what's going on now. What I'm more interested in is the dynamic in the house where Sebastian was, and the co-parenting relationship as it stood. But Chris and Katie lied about that, and they made it seem like it was a bed of roses when it was anything but. And then they turn around, and when Seth isn't on board with getting their story straight, which that was told several times, let's get our story straight. What are you gonna do if this goes south? All of that weird stuff that was said. I mean, that would have kept me up at night. I would have went to the police, banging on their door, saying, "Do you know what was just said to me?" And I'm sure he tried, but the Sumner County Sheriff's Office was very biased, in my opinion, towards Chris and Katie. So, with that being said, I think that when he wasn't playing and saying what they wanted him to say, they turned on Seth and they started making up allegations that Katie didn't want to be with him and she was forced, and they had to move to Georgia just so they could be together. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Merge thinks it's a blanket too. Susan says that's exactly what she sees. Gracie. Today's been a day, guys. I can barely read. I can't read today. I can't. Debbie. Hey, Monzy Smoke. There seems to be only a barefoot to me, not a bare person, in my opinion. Oh, like sticking out of the bottom of the blanket, Monzy? There's definitely stuff going down, excuse me, going on with the feet situation down here, because what I see is right below the blanket. It looks like very similar to the face. If you look at the colors, if you look at the color similarity. And it's just interesting, guys. Like I said, I find it to be fascinating, interesting. I like to hear your perspective on it. Oh, that's why I can't go by there. Sunny days, good point. This is a great point, guys. And also, I don't want you all to think that, I'm condoning anything like that, because I'm not. I just know that we don't make the perfect decisions when we're in that situation. But I agree 100% with what Sunny Days is saying. She says, a lot of us have been through DV, but we put our babies first. KP never put Sebastian first. And I agree with that. I agree with the fact that Katie should have been his number one advocate, his best friend, especially if he didn't have any friends. I think that she needed to work harder on getting him into different programs, that he would meet other kids that were also on the spectrum. that had similar interests. You'd be surprised when you get out there. I mean, we all know this too. Once you're socializing and things like that, and you get out there, you might meet a person that you're like, oh my gosh, are we twins? You know what I mean? Did we just become best friends? Because like you just have everything in common. So to think for one little second that Sebastian didn't have a person out there that he could have been best friends with, or even 5 or 6 kids out there that he could have been good friends with, and they could have all hung out. But here's the thing: when you live, and a lot of us can relate to this, I believe, with the trauma, but when you live in a household where a parent, let's just, narcissism is a hard one, but because I believe that Chris Proudfoot is a narcissist, but I'll do one that's a little bit different. Say you're a child that lives in a household with alcoholic parents, or just say one of them is. You're embarrassed to have friends over. You're embarrassed to invite people over. You're embarrassed to be outside with your parents, especially if your parent is a falling down drunk person. It's just one of those things where, and then also people in the neighborhood talk, and they're going to be like, my kid's not going to go over and hang out at that kid's house if that parent is on, rugs, or is drinking all the time. Like, I don't want my kid to go hang out over there. And so the fact that Sebastian doesn't have any friends, I don't think that is completely on Sebastian. I think that is on Chris and Katie. I don't think anybody wanted to be around Chris. I don't think that people wanted to send their children to their house. It doesn't matter what kind of nice house they lived in. That they were like, they could hear them fighting. They could see that Sebastian was never out playing in the yard, throwing the football around, or kicking a soccer ball back and forth. I think that the reason why he didn't have friends is directly attributed to those 2 butt munches. And Sylvester says Chris was kind of cute back then. Oh no, Sylvester, you're killing me. Hold on, let me show you. Let me show you something. Oh Lord. You guys are gonna laugh. I hope anyway. I like making you guys laugh. All right, hold on. Let me see. Actually, no, it's down here. I have way too many pictures of Chris Proudfoot in my phone, guys. I really do. I need to reevaluate my life and the way that I run my life. No, I'm just kidding. So that's wifey number 1. What happened? See, like, I think he looks like I just think he looks like he's trying way too hard in this picture to like look innocent and cute and like, look, I'm in the Navy. I'm in the Navy. It's like, get the heck out of here with that. He's ridiculous. But you could just tell, like, and that girl looks like and she's pretty and she's nice looking. She's nice looking. But yet that was her first marital mistake. But yeah, Sylvester, when he was younger, like, he was obviously more fit and stuff like that. And he just always creeped me out. Like, I just don't like his vibe at all. Scranton says, lady, that friend I told you about last night, you look at their SM and you might be jealous of their relationship. The reality is a nightmare. Exactly. And that is so true. And people always put like their best foot forward on the social media and things like that. Even looking at Chris's picture, like, he's all in his dress blues, looks very respectable, of a person. And like, of course, maybe somebody that a lady would want to bring home to mom and dad, something like that. And then you find out that he's a raging narcissist. And it's like, oh my God. And Liz says CP's still a blockhead to me. Merge FBI is dismantled, so couldn't count on them. Oh my gosh, the FBI is really ticking me off too, because they have to. If we have this image, and they have it, obviously. And again, I know that it's not going to hold up, but if they have that close of footage, camera footage, then I would think that they would be able to decipher someone out there. Although we did see this in the BHB courtroom, that the judge was very biased, and that they even refused to use, and this is where they were slick about it. They refused to use the audio where Chris was threatening people, because all it was like the bubble, right? That's all it was. And it didn't even have his picture in it. It just said, C or K. And so he was like, that's not me. Bullshit, it wasn't you. And that's the kind of things that make me mad, is when people are liars. I cannot stand a damn liar. Now, we all lie. I mean, I get it. It's human nature. That's one of the things, that we're not perfect, right? We're all sinners, whatever. But when people are pathological liars, or they just lie to lie, like, oh no, I didn't do that. And you just watched them do it. That drives me freaking bananas. I can't stand that shit. And I can't stand when people tell tall tales and make themselves bigger than who they are, or more innocent than what they were. Just tell it like how it was. You don't have to act like, you're just so darn perfect, when you were really being a big butthole about the whole thing. Yeah, low vibrations, Faye. I agree with that. What's so funny? There's a sweet lady, and she's named Miss Faye, but she spells hers with an E. She's always talking about living at a higher vibration, and I love her videos. Like, I need to start watching her more often. Just wait if Lady shows his wedding announcement. I don't have it, Star. If you guys have his wedding announcement, I will send it. I just think it's funny, like, his face in that picture is like, oh, I'm just such a good, wholesome young man. I'm so wholesome. And, this poor unsuspecting young woman, I feel so bad for her. He just looks like, oh, look, I'm a wholesome, I'm a wholesome man. Baloney. And she looks happy as hell. And I'm like, oh, you poor thing. To us, he's a baby, 15 and 16-year-old. Yes, exactly, Margaret. I think of him like that too. I think of him just as a younger kid, a young man. I like to say young man, especially now that he's turned 16. Because I just figure, you're driving around that age and things like that. But then when you look at it in the scheme of things, and then also as a parent, when you have kids, that they're always your babies. They could be 50, and they're still, you look at them and you say, I remember when you were little, and I remember when I was holding you. And Tori says, usually in night vision grayscale cameras, black shows up as white. Very great point, Tori. And we talked about that too, that some of the high definition cameras also show the same thing. And so I understand when people say, well, he's not that stupid that he's going to, wear a white shirt out and when he's doing something nefarious. But here's the thing too. Who knows in a panic state if you're going to remember to change your clothes, if you're going to cover your tracks as well as you think you are. That's how people get caught, is like that one little tiny mistake that they make. One tiny mistake, and then shit hits the fan and they're caught. We see them on a perp walk. Scranton says, lady, expect that I can see Sebastian's feet out the bottom. Makes me think it's a blanket. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Because if it was a bag, which I'm not saying that he couldn't have, been put into a duffel bag, because poor little Harmony. I don't even want to repeat what was said. And I don't believe half the crap that came out of Kayla's mouth either. So, Red A LAX to Boston. Good to see you. Good to see you, hon. Machete. I love your name, Machete. I'm going to tell you guys, I was at the gas station the other day, and there was a guy that looked just like Danny Trejo. I was like, oh my God, there's Machete for real. I was about to take a picture of him, post it, but then I was like, that's kind of mean. What if he doesn't like looking like Machete? And Marge says, I can see the blanket sticking out where his feet would be. See it? Yeah. Yeah. I can see it too. And see, that's another thing that I didn't see until you guys were pointing stuff out. It's just amazing, it's amazing what you can see when other people kind of weigh in on it. Pickle bag is stiffer. Yeah, Liz, that's a good point. It's stiffer and not as pliable. Johanna says, in my opinion, KP would have left CP a long time ago if she was afraid of him. I wonder, though, because she doesn't have a lot of family around, and that makes a huge difference. The support system that you have makes a big difference. Brenda says, I thought the black thing was someone else bent over and CP and KP is behind them. Oh, I can see that. I can see that too now that you say that. Like as in so they're like standing there and then like as in they're going into the. See, I don't know that they're that close to the vehicle though. I'm trying to see it in a perspective. Oh, hindsight's short. Okay, I will look at it. Carrie, because I don't want to offend or trigger anyone on my opinion. It's sensitive subject. Carrie, and that's the thing too. It's such a fine line, and I just want you, I want you guys to be able to say stuff in here and not feel like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be attacked if I don't, because I want people to be able to say their opinions and stuff like that. As long as you're not saying it in a disrespectful way, please, by all means, share your opinion, please. But it's just when people come in here like, oh, why would you think that? You're just stupid. Like, I can't stand that. That is so juvenile, and it shows a lack of intelligence that you can't use your words and explain something to somebody, human being to human being. You have to sit there and degrade and insult somebody. To me, you're not smart enough to convey a point, and so you get angry and you start name calling. We don't need to do that. But please, by all means, share your opinion. I want to hear it. I'm interested to hear it. Polly's Cookie says, I do see a rough form that does look much like a limp body, the black shape being held, in my opinion, by the person that resembles CP. He's holding him like one would hold a sleeping baby in arms. Yeah, see, Polly, I keep saying it like that, but it does remind me of that, like, because the knees, look like they're bended, towards, in that way. Carrie says, I think Green Hoodie was a rug dealer, either to rug him and worse, then was clear handoff or something in the parking lot. Okay, that's interesting. They were the thing about the Green Hoodie is I think that that person was lurking around for a while. Excuse me, and then also the interaction between Katie and Green Hoodie was too long of an interaction for somebody just passing by somebody else, in my opinion. Because usually when that happens, strangers don't linger with each other. If you know someone, you'll linger and, oh, hey, how you doing? Like, say it's somebody from the school that she knew, or maybe it was a classmate at DeVry, for example. And it's like, oh, hey, good to see you, how you doing? And you might stand there and chat for a second, or maybe you just might recognize each other if it's just an acquaintance from one of your classes or something, and be like, oh, hey, girl, something like that. Or, hey, man, or hey, Green Hoodie Shim. I mean, we call him a Shim around here because we don't know if that is a man or a woman, and no insults or anything towards any of the LGBTQ community at all. I'm just saying it's frustrating when we can't even figure out a gender of a person who's supposed to be, who was in contact with Katie that night. It's bothersome to me. It's another piece of the case that is bonkers. It's like, is it a man or a woman? Or do they identify in a certain way? I mean, let us know. But for them to just be like, oh, she and he, and so I say shim. Until I get some hardcore evidence about who that person is, I'm going to call him a shim. And I don't mean any disrespect. I just don't know which one to say. And maybe it's more disrespectful to call a man a woman and a woman a man. I don't know. But Starflower says she's really hard to get a read on. The part that makes me think she's manipulating too is the way she treated Nina. Good point, Starflower. And that's another thing that we need to consider is like the Katie on the whole, you know, the whole person, and also situations where the school said that she was acting differently. The people in her community are going to know how she is. Now, I will say that they didn't live in that house very long in Victoria Place, the house that they live in. It's not like they lived there since Sebastian was little. That's not the first place that they got when they moved from California to there. They've lived in other places. So, you know, I agree, Starflower. Thank you for that comment because that makes sense to me. And Faye says, in my opinion, KP seems like bipolar with the different moods and personalities. Look how she changes her accent at every interview. I agree with that too, Faye. And another thing that I wondered about Katie, and I am not a medical professional by any means, I'm not diagnosing or anything, just purely speculating. She reminds me of Amber Heard, who was Johnny Depp's wife that he had, and they went through that big long trial and everything because she was, you know, accusing him of DV. He accused her of DV, and it kind of came out in court. But in my humble opinion, I do believe that Katie might be histrionic, which is a personality disorder, and it has traits like vindictiveness, someone who likes to stir the pot and then sit back and watch what happens. You know, I see that in Katie. I've watched her facial features and things like that. I also find it interesting. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, sorry. Hold on. I'm going to have to go way back in my videos to this one, guys. So just bear with me for a second. Because we're going to go back to the first interview.
Tonight, the parents of a missing teen in Sumner County described to us exclusively interview.
Certainly was. It will return home safely. Can you walk us through what you're thinking right now?
I just want my baby to be okay. I don't know where he's at.
Mom Katie broke down several times in our interview, but says her hope is strong that her son Sebastian will be found safe and return home.
He's going to walk through that door, and this street will be flooded again with family and relatives all waiting to hug and love him. And
Stepdad Chris says it's been an emotional roller coaster that all started Sunday night, February 25th.
Pretty normal. He was playing in his room. When I told him to go to bed, he did. He said, "Good night, Mom. I love you."
Katie says she went to wake up.
What was the laughing about? See, that's the weirdest thing to me, is that I don't understand why Katie, you know, I told him to go to bed. Huh? He did. Huh? You know, like what is funny about that situation, or what is the laughter about? That's what I don't understand.
Around 6 a.m. Monday for school, and he was gone. Within minutes, Katie says she was on the phone with Chris, who was working out of town, and they quickly called 911.
And he's not a runner. He's never run away before. I don't know why. I don't know why he walked out that door.
I mean, he's a good kid. He's not.
Sorry, I just feel like it's so fake. I really do. I feel like that part was absolutely fake. And then you get Chris's reaction here. Hold on.
I don't know why he walked out that door.
I mean, he's a good kid. He's not. He's not a mischievous child by any means.
Katie and Chris say Sebastian is not on social media. While he loves to play Minecraft, they tell me he does not have any online capabilities. I asked if there was any reason he might want to leave.
We've been combing over that day and even the weeks before he left, and I haven't been able to figure it out. He's, that morning he was laughing, he was joking.
It's as if Sebastian vanished. No sign of him on any video throughout the community. Thousands of miles logged by law enforcement, canines, helicopters, even dive teams, and no sign of him. Chris and Katie tell me they've been harassed, people pointing fingers at them.
You're not in this situation. You don't quite understand. I wish people would step back, take a different wide open view, and not assume what they know. It's just better to stick to the facts.
Are you both in the clear?
I can tell you that Mom, myself, and the father have worked very fully and cooperatively with all agencies across the board. We have anything that they've wanted, we have provided.
What do you want to say to Sebastian? What do you want him to hear from you right now?
That we love you so much, and we want you to come home, and you're not in trouble.
You're not in trouble.
So Katie did tell me that even though Sebastian does have
I just, and then that's another thing that just sticks with me, guys, is that you're not in trouble. I just don't. And then they say that he wasn't in trouble. They've been asked several times about that. You're not in trouble, or why was Sebastian in trouble? Why did you ask? Oh my gosh, I am so behind in the chat. I'm so sorry, guys. Welcome to everybody coming in. So play it again, Gracie. Play it again. Give me 1 second here.
Tonight, the parents of a missing teen in Sumner County described to us exclusively how they feel on day 8 of their son's disappearance. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Marius Pate.
And I'm Lauren Lowry. Sebastian Rogers is 15. He was last seen by his parents
The
on February
Morky
25th
Star.
in Hendersonville. Sebastian has autism, and he's gone without his medication this whole time. And since then, authorities have searched by air, by foot, and on horseback.
Helicopters, drones, and dive teams have also been brought in to try to find him. Today, his parents spoke exclusively to our Holly Thompson.
She's live tonight in Sumner County. Holly, I imagine it was quite an emotional interview.
Hey, Tina.
Certainly was. It is hard for any of us to imagine the emotions that this
I
family
agree.
is going
Southern
through
Soul,
right now.
true
But we know one
crime. I
thing is
agree.
certain. They remain positive. They are holding on to hope that their son Sebastian will return home safely. Can you walk us through what you're thinking right now?
I just want my baby to be okay. I don't know where he's
Absolutely,
at.
Suzanne.
Mom Katie broke down several times in our interview, but says her hope is strong that her son Sebastian will be found safe and return home.
He's going to walk through that door, and this street will be flooded again with family and relatives all waiting to hug and love him. And
Stepdad Chris says it's been an emotional roller coaster that all started Sunday night, February 25th.
Pretty normal. He was playing in his room.
Very good catch, Deborah. And whoever else grabbed that.
He said, "Good night, Mom. I love you."
Katie says she went to wake up Sebastian around 6 a.m. Monday for school, and he was gone. Within minutes, Katie says she was on the phone with Chris, who was working out of town, and they quickly called 911.
And he's not a runner.
Peekaboo Minnie.
He's never run away before.
It all started Sunday.
I don't know why. I don't know why he walked out that door.
he's a good kid. He's not.
I agree, Lori. Bam, Tori.
Katie and Chris say Sebastian is not on social media. While he loves to play Minecraft, they tell me he does not have any online capabilities. I asked if there was any reason he might want to leave.
We've been combing over that day and
Hey,
even
Bubbly
weeks
Beth.
before he left, and I haven't been able to figure it out. He's That morning he was laughing, he was joking.
It's as if Sebastian vanished. No sign of him on any video throughout the community. Thousands of miles logged by law enforcement, canines, helicopters, even dive teams.
Good point, Marge.
And no sign of him. Chris and Katie tell me they've been harassed. People pointing fingers at them.
You're not in this situation. You don't quite understand. I wish people would step back, take a different, wide open view, and not assume
Good point, Minnie.
what they know. It's just better to stick to the facts.
Are you both in the clear?
Sorry.
I can tell you that Mom, myself, and the father have worked very fully and cooperatively with all agencies across the board. We have anything that they've wanted, we have provided.
What do you want to say to Sebastian? What do you want him to hear from you right now? That we love you so much, and we want you to come home, and you're not in trouble.
So Katie did tell me that even though Sebastian does have autism, he is a smart teenager. He is highly functional. They say if you see him, say his name, say Sebastian, and he'll respond. He'll at least acknowledge you. And I can tell you, this is my home. This is my community. And the people here are strong. They say they will continue to search. They will continue to hope and continue to pray for Sebastian's safe return.
And, it's just crazy to me that they were complaining about all of that when they weren't being mistreated at all, in my opinion. They weren't coming forward. I mean, they were staying holed up in their house. So Minnie says playing on a video game usually, but wasn't allowed to merge. Yeah, exactly. Like, what was he doing? Was he playing was he playing Legos? Because that's one thing that he could have been doing. She said they're always saying he liked to play the Legos. They also said, what was another thing they were saying? That maze game that where you build the mazes. Credit escapes my brain here. Johanna says if CP says he's a good kid, why send him back to Seth or worse, some boys' facility so full of contradictions? Exactly. He's a good kid. He's not mischievous. It's really strange. No one knew yell at this point. Good point, Tina. Good point, Tina girl. But yeah, it's odd that they told the news that it all started on Sunday night. Minnie said, right, Johanna, and I love your name. my daughter's is Johanna, and they always call her Johanna at the doctor. Aw. Johanna, excuse me, Jana. Boy, I cannot read today. I'm telling you, I'm having major issues. For balling up his fists. Yep, they did mock him for balling up his fists. Why hit him with belt? Yeah, CP is so full of contradictions. They are. And then also they were telling Nancy Grace things like, because Nancy's like, well, what was going on at school that he was getting in trouble and things? And Chris is like, well, he's got problems with personal space and social and emotional regulation issues. It's like, you beat him for that though? Like, see, it's crazy. Bubbly Beth, that's a good point. That morning he was laughing. Yeah, he was laughing and joking. And I don't know if she's talking about the day before. Because see, she says that little bit in there. And then she also says it again in another, let's see, was it... I think it was I think it was Chronicles of Olivia. I'll play this one too. This is where Katie actually went on Reels, and it was by herself, I believe.
Holy cow, you guys. Sebastian, a little piece.
We need your help to find a
Okay.
missing Tennessee teenager. During the early morning hours of February 26, 2024, 15-year-old Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers disappeared from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee. That's about 20 miles north of Nashville. He's not been seen or heard from since. And Sebastian is now the subject of an Amber Alert. Joining us now is Sebastian's mom, Katie Proudfoot. Katie, thanks for being with us under what must be very difficult circumstances. First of all, how are you and your family holding up?
I would say that this isn't a tragedy that we would wish anyone to ever experience.
Who said that?
We're keeping our faith, and we're praying every day that we're going to find Sebastian.
What's the latest on the search?
So law enforcement is exploring any and all possibilities. They're communicating daily with us about updates and the statuses. We have faith that all the law enforcement agencies involved are doing everything that they can, and we're going to find Sebastian and bring him home.
We know the most important thing right now is to get the word out about Sebastian. What would you like our viewers to know about your son?
Sebastian, he is high-functioning autistic. He loves animals. He loves video games. He loves fishing. You're so goofy. He's typically a very, very sweet boy. He can be quite temperamental, though, if he's overstimulated or if he's stressed out. He has a unique run. He runs like the Naruto anime character. When he's excited, he likes to dab, and he loves music. He loves to dance.
That's all very helpful information. Now, if Sebastian is out there watching, what would you like to say to your son?
I would say, Bubba, we love you. We all love you so much. Wherever you are, just know that we are not going to stop. We're going to keep searching. We're going to find you. We're going to bring you home. And if you ever get an opportunity, find a phone, find a safe adult, call 911. But I'd also like to ask our community to please keep searching your properties. Keep sharing his flyer. If you know something or you see something, please say something. Call the law enforcement immediately.
We're going to do everything we can to help find him.
Thank you.
Now, let's take a good look at Sebastian. He's 15 years old.
So that interview always bothered me because it was very disingenuous, in my opinion. It's crystal clear you're a liar. Exactly, Kaika. Minecraft. Marble Run. It was Marble Run, MCE, and they say that on Queen Bee is that he liked to play Marble Run. So it's like where you make up the mazes and then the marble goes down the maze, like whatever one you can build. And I think that's what it is, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, shiny pennies and paper clips, Tori. I mean, what the heck? It's weird. Roblox. Yeah, Roblox is the same. No, she said because they were asking about which games he liked, and then they were like Marble Run was one of them. But I couldn't think of what it was. Jennifer, good to see you. Bubbly Beth says nobody even knocked on the door or camped out in front of their house. I know, isn't that crazy? Especially nowadays. Red Eye LAX of Boston says when it took 8 days to come and bring it to the public makes me feel like they're hiding something. Exactly. And I think the people were definitely thinking that too. Minnie, I did say it wrong. Jana. Then I caught myself. See, I'm trying to reread and double reread today because I'm like, I already know. I didn't get a lot of sleep. That's my fault. It's my fault. Pink Butterfly says trying to look good to the public, painting a picture of a perfect family. Exactly. And that's what's really frustrating. If they would have just came out. Now, do I expect them to come out and be like, well, this is all of our dirty laundry and everything? No, of course not. But don't paint it in a way that is inaccurate, like from the start, because then that loses credibility for people, The roller coaster started on Sunday night. Isn't that what he said? Yes. And what's funny is I never noticed that before. I've never noticed that before. Yep. Did you catch where he was fine? Yeah, he was fine that morning. He was fine. And I wonder if here, let's play it again. Let's play it again.
Tonight, the parents of a missing teen in Sumner County described to us exclusively how they feel on day 8 of their son's disappearance. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Marius Pate.
And I'm Lauren Lowry. Sebastian Rogers is 15. He was last seen by his parents on February 25th in Hendersonville.
The dive teams have all
Interview. Certainly was. It is hard for any of us to imagine the emotions that this family is going through right now. But we know one thing is certain. They remain positive. They are holding on to hope that their son Sebastian will return home safely. Can you walk us through what you're thinking right now?
I just want my baby to be okay. I don't know where he's at.
Mom Katie broke down several times in our interview, but says her hope is strong that her son Sebastian will be found safe and return home.
He's going to walk through that door, and the street will be flooded again with family and relatives all waiting to hug and love him. And
Stepdad Chris says it's been an emotional roller coaster that all started Sunday night, February 25th.
Pretty normal. He was playing in his room. When I told him to go to bed, he did. He said, "Good night, Mom. I love you."
Katie says she went to wake up Sebastian around 6 a.m. Monday for school, and he was gone. Within minutes, Katie says she was on the phone with Chris, who was working out of town, and they quickly called 911.
And he's not a runner. He's never run away before. I don't know why. I don't know why he walked out that door.
I mean, he's a good kid. He's not a mischievous child by any means.
Katie and Chris say Sebastian is not on social media. While he loves to play Minecraft, they tell me he does not have any online capabilities. I asked if there was any reason he might want to leave.
We've been combing over that day and even the weeks before he left, and I haven't been able to figure it out. He's, that morning he was laughing, he was joking.
It's as if Sebastian vanished. No sign of him.
That is so weird. I can't tell, Lisa, if they're talking about the day before or Monday, but I think they were talking about the day before because she has said that before in different interviews too. I'm good, Margaret. I think I'm just tired because I haven't gotten a lot of sleep within the last couple days. It's just been crazy busy, and then also just doing a lot of research, and that keeps me up, and before I know it, I'm just my brain's fried. And I know exactly, Star. That's another thing too. I hope not either. I mean, once I did fall asleep, I slept really, really good, but it was just yeah, sometimes I just get to where my brain won't turn off. I know. I hope I'm not getting sick either. Send me healing prayers, guys. Tori says she always says that morning. She always starts with that. She never says Sunday morning he was fine, in my opinion, because Sunday and Monday all ran together for her. In my opinion, no sleep Sunday night. That's a really good point. I don't know whether she got any sleep, whether she, I wish we could get the body cam footage. Let's put it that way. I mean, I know that might be a little bit nosy, but it would also help a lot. Her Apple Watch data would also help a lot. And that's not something that law enforcement, necessarily has the market cornered on. They have a private investigator. If he was any type of private investigator, he would try and make his clients look as best they can. But instead he's like, oh, I don't know, but if Chris has an alibi, I really didn't check into it. I really don't care. I've never in my life seen a private investigator that does such a lazy job as Steve Fisher. And I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be, a bitch or anything, but he's lazy. Which one is it? Are you talking about the Reels one, Beth? The one where he does green tea? She does. She does have her hair pulled back in a military style fashion, Minnie. Absolutely. I noticed that. It's like in a bun, like a very tight, well, a very neat bun. We'll just put it that way. I don't know if it was real tight or anything. Let me take a look.
We need your help. It's Sebastian's mom, Katie Crawford. Katie.
I can never tell if Katie's just has splotches on her, because when she gets nervous, she gets splotchy. Yes, Gracie. Sebastian did play Minecraft. He loved Minecraft. That was one of his favorite ones. Scripted, I think, to merge. Yeah, Tori, good job. She said he would, that morning he was laughing and joking. I mean, it's one of those things where it's so hard because it is an edited piece, but in the same way, it's a tragedy, Detroit Rock City. It really is. The one interview at the table in her house by herself, she has. Okay, give me 1 second. And see, guys, this is when I was like, oh, Katie's wearing the shirt. This is wonderful. I was praising her in this interview, just so you guys know. I don't know if you guys could see that. But for the record, I was praising her when she would do right. And I think everybody would do that as well, if she would do right.
For being with us under what must be very difficult circumstances. First of all, how are you and your family holding up?
I would say that this isn't a tragedy that we would wish anyone to ever experience. We're keeping our faith, and we're praying every day that we're going to find Sebastian.
What's the latest on the search?
So law enforcement is exploring any and all possibilities. They're communicating daily with us about updates and the statuses. We have faith that all the law enforcement agencies involved are doing everything that they can, and we're going to find Sebastian and bring him home.
We know the most important thing right now is to get the word out about Sebastian. What would you like our viewers to know about your son?
Sebastian, he is high-functioning autistic. He loves animals. He loves video games. He loves fishing. You're so goofy.
He's so young in that green tea.
A very, very sweet boy.
It's not
he can
recent.
Be quite temperamental, though, if he's overstimulated or if he's stressed out. He has a unique run. He runs like the Naruto anime character. When he's excited, he likes to dab, and he loves music. He loves to dance.
That's all very helpful information. Now, if Sebastian is out there watching, what would you like to say?
Let me see if I can't look for a good. It's so hard because I did leave I put a filter over it because I didn't want to get dinged for it, but on that angle it does look like she's got a bit of a shiner. See that eye right there? Now I don't know if that's Sorry, that looks weird. I'm not trying to make her look weird. I'm sorry, guys. I really am not trying to disparage this woman right now. And then look at this eye. And what I'm looking at is right there on her eye. I don't know if that's a shadow, but it certainly looks like she might have got a shiner of somehow. Oh, I must have lost a nail there. Oh, there we go.
If you've seen Sebastian or know anything about his disappearance,
He's typically a very, very sweet boy.
Now in this one, I don't see it anymore, so it might have been a shadow. I'm pretty sure it was a shadow now that I'm looking closer. And I also added a filter to it. What I'll do, guys, is I'll look for the raw, I have the raw video. I have it. I have all of them saved, so, without any filter on it, and I'll do it up close and see if I can see any type of bruising on Katie's face. Because I don't want to get that wrong. Well, guys, I think that I need to get working on some things. Oh, thank you, Jana. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. And that's another thing, guys. Jana has the most awesome research that she has done for her sister's case. It's the most amazing. But I'm also going through it and like going over it and over it and over it. And then I'm also doing some sleuthing things, which once you get down a rabbit hole like that and you're trying to find, information, it's like, I don't know. I get excited and then I can't sleep. It's what it comes down to on TikTok and Facebook. Yes. And also, guys, Vapor. Thank you for reminding me, Jana. Vapor did a video tonight again, a part 4. I haven't been able to watch it because I want live right away. So I need to also watch that and then and share that one too. Thank you so much for being here, Jana. I appreciate you. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. I don't know why. I'm just like, oh, on Julie's. Okay. Oh, on Julie's. I thanked Julie today because she said something so sweet to me, and I thought it was so nice of her. Polly's Cookie says it is up to the parents to arrange play dates for their child to help him to form appropriate relationships from the age of around 3. Absolutely, absolutely. Thus, friendships are encouraged and welcomed and will continue. I agree. And there's so many kids out there that love Minecraft. There's so many kids out there. Katie talked about how they had like board games like galore and they have a whole closet full of them. What kid wouldn't want to come over and play games and stuff and do that, Forever Nikki's mom, thank you. Tori says, I think CP was home and KP kept Sebastian out of the house for a reason. Very true. Very true. Oh, I got a message from Summer. MCE says, Polly, I always took my kids to the park to play because we lived far away from any kids. Yeah. And see, that's always a good place to meet other kids too. Absolutely. You just never know. The more that you, especially with autism, that's the hardest thing because they do have people that are on the spectrum do have issues with understanding social cues, being comfortable in a social situation, dealing with a lot of stimuli, things like that. So it's really important to do that. And especially, she said, Katie herself said that Sebastian loved to go to the park, or go, he loves playgrounds. So, and Jennifer says CP's family and relatives waiting to hug you. Yeah, right. I know. It's maddening, Jennifer. Chris, we all seen and heard the video of how your sister talked to him in public, and I can only imagine how y'all treated him behind closed doors. Well said. That's a mic drop moment, Jennifer, because it's the truth. Barb, overstimulated. That Sunday was busy. I don't believe he settled for bed as easily as Katie says, unless Sebastian was sedated. I agree too. It's weird how she says, I told him to go to bed. He did. Like, she laughs after he did and laughs. It's like, I just don't see what was funny about it. It's just hard to get a read. It's hard to get a read on that one. Kaika says, I wonder who had to tell Katie to wear a shirt only to try and manipulate people more. Well, and another thing that was weird too is at the Texas Roadhouse, she was wearing a hoodie and he wasn't, you know? Deborah says she sees the left eye. I'm going to go check around again. The one that didn't have a green background. I know. See, and that's the thing, Bubbly Beth. I want to take that out because the more I was looking at that, I was wondering if it was because I added a filter to the video. So I'm going to definitely take a look at that because I would like to know. Yeah, Tina, and it's so sad. Johanna says KP never once mentioned his other medical issues unless I missed it. His risk of brain injury and other metabolic problems are just as if not as important as the autism, in my opinion. Absolutely. It is important to me as well because the autism diagnosis was late, but what they were aware of was the pocket of fluid on his brain, and then also the chromosome deletion. So, yes, I agree. They do seem really cold, Star. They do. Red-eyed LAX to Boston says, that's what it looks like. What was the date? The date on that one was... these are my older videos, guys, so I don't know if I put a date on this. I dropped it on April 14th, 2024. But I will get the exact date because I should be able to find it. But it was sometime around April she did this interview, 14th. And I put in the description, Sebastian has been missing for 49 days today. So it's one of my old videos. And it's called Rare Video of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers in Action. Because we had not... see, and that's the thing, too. I'm surprised we didn't see more of him videos. Merge, I should be able to do that. I've never tried to. The one that I thought was a good one... but I can try. I can try because I know exactly which part of the interview that is. This is the one that was going around. And then This is a really good one. To put it into perspective. So, just, something to think about. I do too, Lisa. I absolutely adore it too. I absolutely adore it. The darkish around her eye. I know. Oh, I love that. All I need is Jesus, coffee, and true crime. Look at her forehead. There's a goose egg. Oh my gosh. I'm going to look at it a lot closer, guys. I will do that. We'll put the reels on for tomorrow, and I will try to see if I can see what I see in there. Because when I made that one, I was brand new and I didn't know what to look for, Limelight Girl says I was experimenting and did a different enhancement of the photo. Oh, cool. Did you send it to me? Is that what we sent? Hold on one second. I thought I saw someone sent me an email. Ooh, sorry. Okay, here we go. Oh, that's interesting. Sorry, guys, give me 1 second. And this is courtesy of, or full credit to Limelight Girl. There we go. That's a good angle with no glare, or little to no glare. I also see where there could have been, it looks like a foot down here. Excuse me, sorry, right here. And then it looks like something almost like one of those leg warmers from like the 80s, but I don't think that's what it is. And then that looks like skin again. So like a foot down here, skin again, blanket, because it does match the skin up here as well. And then we can also see another head right here, in my opinion. Really great one. I will I'll put this on for tomorrow night too. Limelight Girl, and we could look at it, because that is really cool. How you were able to enhance that. That was really good. Okay, MCE says Lady the Fox in the morning. She has a goose egg in Shiner. Oh, I wish I could get a hold of that one. That one's the one interview that I can't find anywhere with Lawrence from Fox and Friends. I cannot find it anywhere. And maybe it's because I don't have the Fox app. Tori says, I think they were fighting that night and Sebastian got in between them, and you can tell at the Texas Roadhouse he was protective of Katie. He was watching that green hoodie like like a hawk and wondering what the heck was going on, It's so sad, Deborah. It's so bad. Still got that goose egg. Oh my God. It wasn't that green one. Okay. Good night, Gracie. Good night, Miss Star. Good night, Jana. Good night. Red LAX to Boston. Red Eye LAX to Boston. Good night to you guys. Oh, I know. Thank you, Margaret. You're so sweet. I love you guys. Thank you, Minnie. Guys, please, pretty please, go over to this link. Click the link and sign the petition, please. It's for a wonderful cause. This case with Crystal McCrory Jones is riddled with mistakes, with what was the name of a dereliction of duty. That's what Vapor's video was called tonight, and I thought that was spot on. Spot on. Vapor is cool. Yeah. Yeah, he's metal, like, for sure. I really like his style. Thank you forever, Nikki's mom. You're amazing. Thank you guys all for being here. Thank you so much. Kaika says her and Chris would have took a hit, something to stay awake. Ooh, to do the deed. Interesting. I don't believe she slept that night. If something nefarious did happen, I don't believe she slept that night. I don't. I don't. Faye says 5 CPS cases in less than 2 years shows the situation escalating. I agree. I agree. It was escalating. It was getting worse and worse and worse and worse. All right, guys. I love you all very much. Please stay safe out there and be nice to each other on the streets. If somebody disagrees with you, just take it for what it is. And, love you, Holly. Yes. And, just respectfully disagree or agree or whatever, but conversations are better. Faye. Conversations are better to have, and we can find out and figure more things out if we were to put our heads together than for us to each go in our own corner and figure it out on our own. But if we go in our own corner or figure it out on our own, and then we bring it into a community space, it's so much better, and we can find so many more little details that maybe we didn't see before. Another, just like with me collaborating with Gracie, and Star helping out, and then we see this, I still think this image is freaking awesome. Limelight Girl, right, guys? It's a group effort. It doesn't have to be, sides and all the craziness. Thanks, Tinks. Thanks so much. Thanks, Detroit Rock City. Love your kids. Pretty Bird is right. Amen. Love your kids. What does Vinnie Politan say? Don't forget to hug the kids. All right, guys. I love you guys all so much. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you tomorrow night, and we will continue trying to get this figured out. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.